All right, good morning, evening, afternoon, everybody. We are back for the Bicker bunch. We're still 4 people, still sitting around a table. We fucked up a couple of recordings, and we missed 2 entirely. So we're having to do this one in a rush. Jam, talk about Jacksonville.
Okay, so I'm from Jacksonville, and I still get news.
Okay, that's enough.
We're sorry.
Damn it. So I still get the news for Jax articles from time to time because my family still lives back there, so it's interesting to see what the fuck Jacksonville's doing. So I came across this one. So apparently, the mayor of Jacksonville gets $100,000 a year to do with whatever the fuck he wants with, I guess, of our taxpayer dollars. And so he decided, instead of improving Jacksonville, to attract people, right? You know, make your city be really cool.
That's
and
just
he's like,
crazy.
I want to.
That would take more than $100,000.
I mean,
that's probably true. So instead, he decided to put up billboards in 4 major cities across the U.S. We got LAX, D.C.,
LAX is in
New
the city.
York.
Oh, it's at LAX.
It's
at
the airport. Sorry. So Los Angeles, Chicago, New York City, and D.C. He put these billboards up that were pretty much just like.
It's like one of them is like his face, and they're like, "Come to Jacksonville," or like booking a round trip ticket. Why don't I not book a one way?
Yeah, it's like
Move to Jax.
non-stop flight from LAX to Jax. Why not make it one way? Move to Jax. No state taxes, affordable real estate, and fresh air. So, yeah. But, I mean, technically all of Florida has no taxes, so you don't have to move to Jacksonville for that.
Yeah, I mean, Jacksonville would literally be the last place I would fucking move.
I
would move to Miami before that, and all the entire buildings
No,
would fall down.
Los Angeles would be the last place I would move.
I think
Los Angeles isn't in Florida.
I know. But if I was going to Florida, yes. But yeah,
I don't know.
overall.
I might live in Los Angeles if I was obscenely rich.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of places I would live if I was obscenely rich that I would never live
rich are
normally.
leaving.
Yeah.
They're the ones running away.
Yeah, and then, like, the D.C. one says, ditch your swamp for ours. Move to Jax. No state taxes, beautiful weather, and endless beaches where you can get stabbed by the hobos. They don't put that on the billboard,
I
though,
figured
just
you
so you
added
know.
that part. Yeah. That would be a very big turnoff.
Move to Jax, make some money, move out of Jacksonville.
Yeah, the New York City one was state taxes taking a bite out of your paycheck. Move to Jax. Make your paycheck go 49% further. Less tax in Jax.
49% further?
That's, I don't know where they get the percentage from, but
Well, probably from the percentage of sales
so
tax in New York.
like between income tax, city income tax, and like all the other taxes in New York City, yeah, you probably pay close to 50%.
You know, one of the big problems in Jacksonville is all the fucking New Yorkers. So
I mean, no, there's a lot of problems.
yeah, that's a big problem, though.
I think that's probably
They fucked up the
that's
roads.
probably the least of your problems.
I like the Chicago one because it's like January in Chicago and it shows a picture versus Jacksonville of the beaches, and it's like move to Jax, 0 average annual snowfall.
Yeah.
No shit.
Well, no fucking shit's in Florida. I mean, Florida's nice. Okay, parts of Florida are nice, but it's not the worst place I've lived. Of course, I haven't lived really in any bad places because I try to avoid bad places. But I did live in the ghetto in Orlando.
No, but the best part are the comments of these articles with like actual people living in Jacksonville, and they're like, so he's not putting any of the gun violence on the billboards. You know, and
yeah, but Chicago people don't care about that because Jacksonville gun violence is still less than Chicago.
And a lot of them was on political lines too, because apparently Jacksonville's very red, except for last election they went blue. But apparently they're very red, and all the cities he posted in were blue. So, and he's Republican, and they're like, yeah, sure, invite all the Democrats in, and then you won't get elected next year. But you know,
that's probably
no. It would have been funny though if they put up the billboard in Chicago and they're like. We're violent, but not as violent.
Yeah.
Our crime rate is 0.2 lower than yours.
I mean, per capita, Jacksonville is quite low.
Per capita?
Lower?
Per
capita, whatever. I don't fucking care. Per capita is quite a bit lower. I've also been drinking ahead of this podcast, so I'm sorry ahead of time.
All I hear is excuses.
Yeah, it's his excuse every time. He'll say that when he's sober, too. Like, I've been drinking.
That's
you
not
just
true.
woke up, man.
Wait, sober? What's sober? I mean, I'm in the car business, so what's sober? I don't think I have that.
But
I've been drinking. Sorry.
So I think my dad sent me, Nick, and Jam all that article, right? And he was like, yeah, you guys should talk about this. And like the first thing I saw, I was busy unpacking my house or something like that. So I looked down at my phone real quick and I just saw the picture of the one billboard, like nonstop from LAX to JAX. Why not make it one way? And my first comment was, yeah, you may as well make it one way. It'll be cheaper. And the chances that you're actually going to make it out of there are pretty slim.
Yeah, you should make it one way straight out of fucking Jax.
Yeah, you should just like not go there in the first place.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. It's the same with the news article when they built the bus station too. The
that was some of the most racist
the most
shit
transit
you've ever
station.
heard. Oh
it
my
was
God.
between like, they're making a new homeless shelter because that's where all the homeless people live right now is at the bus station. Or they were really racist, like, don't let those people out of these areas, you know?
Yeah.
Like
What
the hell?
Yeah.
What do you mean by those people?
No, I mean,
what is your exact definition of that?
No, they were very explicit in the comments.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
They said,
Those people was replaced by another word, and that's very
Everybody
wrong.
Yes.
knows what we're talking
That's
about.
kinda disgusting.
It's messed up, man.
And then,
Those were the two comments. New homeless station.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it was kind of the same with the Jacksonville one, too. Everyone was like, don't move here. Don't.
Just don't.
Just
do
don't.
it.
Most of them, yeah.
Hey,
And the other people were like, no, we don't want near liberal trash in Jacksonville.
Yeah, that was the other half of the
It was that.
comments.
It was either like, no, this place sucks, or,
this place is amazing. Don't move here because
Yeah.
you're liberal shit.
yeah,
Yeah,
like,
so instead of the billboards, maybe you should focus on improving the actual city. And
Yeah,
people
maybe-
will come if your city
maybe
is
use, like-
attractive enough to come
No.
to.
maybe use like $100,000 to like,
Oh,
I
that
don't
was
know,
that was
help
some
build
of the
like
other
a homeless shelter
Yeah.
or
You should
something like
you
that.
should build another bypass.
That's the
Oh,
problem
it
is
took
they
them-
have
took
a
them 20
million
years to do the
homeless
first one.
shelters.
What?
The problem is they have a million homeless shelters. They're going to realize one day that a lot of these homeless people don't necessarily care about that. They're like,
No, because
you
maybe
know?
because a lot of the homeless shelters have like rules.
yeah. And these people are like, no, I don't fucking want to do that shit. It's true. I don't know. I mean, LA tried all that, and LA is
I don't,
become a mess because of all of
I
that.
like-
and it's
Usually,
not
if you
good.
improve the city and have affordable housing and people can actually get jobs, you have less of
I
that.
think,
Yeah.
I don't say this very often too, but in Texas, they actually did something decent with that. And like I said, just mark this date down. I said something in Texas was good.
I
But
will,
they,
actually.
it was once.
It's the end times.
I don't remember. I think it was Houston. And in Houston, they they took the homeless people and gave them jobs with the city. And paid them and put them up in like decent temporary apartments and stuff like that. And they actually gave them a job, a schedule to report to, and stuff like that. And the turnout from it was really, really good. A lot of people signed up for it, and a lot of people got homes, and they had a little job, and they helped contribute to the city and make the city better. And I was like, oh, no shit, Texas actually did something that wasn't shitty. Because, I mean, just look at Texas now.
Yeah, most people don't want to live that way. Unlike Catfish. I mean, he's hopeless, but
Well, the problem is a lot of the homeless population, too, are either they have a criminal record, so they'll never be able
That's
to
a
get a
problem,
job,
yeah.
or they have mental health issues.
that's true. Yeah.
And,
Yep.
and, you know, we don't treat that here, so...
Well, they closed it all down mainly because it was the mental hospital's fault that they closed
Oh,
it
yeah,
all down.
no.
Like, they were like fucking shock therapy, you know, or
No, I mean, it's
it's insane what they're
the
doing.
story of fucking
Lobotomies.
insane asylums is just fucking horrendous. Like
Oh, yeah.
what they were doing to those people, and like there was no check. Like, there was no checks on them. Like
Yeah, that's the problem. And
They
like,
just lock them in these places and they can't
yeah,
do
they were like
anything
they're
about
like,
it.
oh, you have like bad spirits in your head. Let's fucking
Let's just
drill
shock
into
you.
your skull.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, and you know,
Unleash the demons.
I will always say there are certain things the government should handle, and like regulating the mental hospitals should probably be one of those things the government should handle.
no, I mean most of what the government should handle should be regulation and oversight. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be the actual management of these facilities.
True.
It shouldn't like. Whenever the government usually manages something, it's usually not great.
Oh, it's a shit show every time.
Like,
But I don't know. They need to. You know, it's weird. If there's ever a time where it is a not profitable thing, that's kind of the the government's job is to run that non-profitable thing, right? Like prisons should not be profitable. The government should run prisons. Education probably shouldn't be profitable. Like, we shouldn't be profiting off of child's futures.
No, and we shouldn't be putting knowledge behind a giant fucking paywall anyways.
That's also true.
It's
We can
get into that way later, though. But there's
knowledge is power.
Yeah, and even
For
like
sure.
utilities and stuff like that. And
no, money is power. Knowledge is just an after effect.
So He-Man is just power or knowledge. Yeah.
Sure, Nick. Sure.
But one thing I always bitch
You should
about.
stop drinking, Nick.
Never.
One thing, I'll just turn his mic off.
You're good at that.
I'm apparently so good I don't even turn mine on.
Yeah, you turned yours.
It's okay. It'd probably be the best episode we had.
No, the problem is you could still hear me. I just sounded really quiet. Like if it was just you three, I might have been like, "Oh, Matt was sick today," but you could still hear me in the background, like, it's terrible. But yeah, I think,
Rabble.
I think utility companies should also be. I can't stand it. The worst utility services I've ever had are when it's a private company running it, or a cooperative, which is just a private company that has the illusion that.
I think most of them are cooperatives, aren't they?
In most states it is a municipal thing.
Yeah.
Is APS a cooperative?
Fuck. Yeah, no, they are co-op.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So was I know Clay Electric back home was.
Yeah, and they're co-ops. And
The
like
one in Sierra Vista was too.
Yeah,
Co-op.
and APS, I don't remember who they are.
SVV.
I like how they have board meetings to raise rates. Like, you can show up between the hours of 8 and 9 in the morning for our meeting, and we will discuss this.
The meeting that they're not even at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And nobody fucking shows because
eight
it's
at 9
9 in the morning on a fucking Monday when everybody's going to work.
Yeah, or it's in like the most.
Not in Phoenix, man. Work doesn't start till 9 because
That's a
of all
good
the
point.
tech companies.
But
True.
they'll schedule these meetings at like some stupid, ridiculous time in the middle.
We got some beeping again. It must be a thing on our podcast. We're just gonna have these weird random beeps.
Pause. All right, Nick forgot to shut my fucking refrigerator, so the alarm went off.
What? I never do such a thing.
Yeah, but we were saying no APS. I've had the worst electric services with APS.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
I've never had any trouble with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anytime you ever need anything, right? They're always like, "Oh, sign up for this on our website, or click the move button," and then you click it, and it's like, "Sorry, we can't complete your move. Call us." And I'm like, "Fuck you." And then I call them, and they're like, "What plan do you want to be on?" And I'm like, "I want the plan where I use electricity and I pay you." Like, that's the fucking plan I want. Why do I have to, like?
Yeah, they do have a weird plan system.
Yeah,
I mean, most of them do that now.
Do they?
Yeah, because they're
It's like package bundles and
they're
stuff.
they're trying to cater to lower income people.
Hey.
No, if
I'm
you
all
cater,
That's fine.
no, you just do what I don't know. What was it? The California one, PG&E. They have like a program if you're lower income that you just pay half. Like,
Yeah.
if you want to cater to lower income, that's like, don't make me think about when I can wash my fucking dishes.
Between this time and this time, am I using more power, or am I on the other plan
Yeah, like,
where
you
it's
know, the worst-
between the
the wor-
other times?
Like,
The
I have an electric.
worst one I've had is SoCal Edison when I was living in Lancaster. Like,
Oh, yeah.
they were fucking awful. And like, when I signed up, like, they didn't ask me if I wanted to be on some kind of plan. Like, but they had like, it was like an electric company inside of an electric company. It was like some fucking
Is that
thing.
Enron?
I don't know what the fuck they
No,
were doing, but it was like
what?
it was like this company.
That's not how
this-
that company worked, Nick.
It's like this
I know.
company that's supposed to be like providing cleaner energy or something, but they charged like, it ended up costing me more money for something I never even fucking signed up. I never even wanted. It was like the weirdest thing ever because they're like, you can opt out of this, and I was like, yes, I want to opt out of that.
That
I
should
didn't
be
wanna
the default.
I didn't want to be in it in the first place.
I shouldn't have to opt out of things that cost me more money.
No, but I mean, like APS is the first one that I didn't even have to call. Like I like even setting up a new account. Like I was just like, this is where I'm moving to, and they're like, okay, cool. What date do you want electricity on? Like this date. They're like, okay, cool.
Oh god! Every time I have to deal with APS, it's usually shit show.
I've literally never had to talk to them.
And then
Nah,
if you're in the part of Phoenix, there's actually 2 electric companies in Phoenix. If you're in the part that gets Salt River Power, everyone's like, you are so lucky because your electricity is half the fucking price.
Really?
Yeah. 'Cause APS charges out the ass for electricity.
True story.
It's because no one goes to their meetings between the hours of 8 and 9 in the
Yeah,
morning.
that are held
on Mondays.
It's probably infrastructure is what you're paying for. I mean,
They're held on the 5th Monday of every month.
That's why they hated when everyone started using solar and stuff too. Not here in Arizona.
No, they did. No,
thing,
APS. They had to strike deals with the government because APS tried to charge people more for solar. If you had solar, they charged a grid connection fee of it was like $100 a month. So even though you weren't paying electricity, they were still charging you for the same amount.
Because you couldn't be self-sufficient, or otherwise the infrastructure will fail for everyone else.
No,
apparently.
I mean electrical companies. Electrical companies want you to pay for everything. I mean, I was paying an extra $17 a month for SoCal Edison because they decided to shut down a fucking nuclear power plant. I was paying for them to shut down the fucking power plant. I was like, why am I paying for this? I don't understand.
Yeah, it's insane.
Why am I paying for your decisions?
Well, it comes down to the same thing that cable companies are. They're a monopoly.
Yeah.
There's
only legalized government monopoly.
Yeah, I only have one option for power. I only have one option for internet in this house. That's all I can have. So, if I call Cox and they suddenly are like, no, your internet plan is going to cost you $300 a month, I'll be like, well, fuck. I have no other choice.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but they're not going to go that far because then then somebody will start intervening.
But when
if they just keep slowly raising it up, no one's going to intervene.
When I lived in my old house in North Phoenix, I had the option of both Cox and CenturyLink for the same speeds, right? Both fiber directly to the house. Yeah. And the fiber was already ran there and everything like that. So I called, I looked up the prices for both of them, and the same internet speeds for both of them, if you went one neighborhood over where they didn't have both, Cox was $20 more a month. But because in my neighborhood we had the option, all the prices were lower.
Wow. Surprise.
Yeah, woo.
Right? Who would have thought?
When you have options.
I also hate when they trap
competition.
I hate when they trap people into fucking shit too. They're like, oh, it'll be your internet will be $60 a month for the first year, and then it's $120.
Yeah, right.
No, then you just call them and be like, I want this lowered. There's also another service. I think it's Ting.
I don't remember.
Something like that. I don't know.
There's some service that
basically what they do is they call them and just you ever been called by a scammer or some phone service and you can't get them off the fucking phone and they keep calling you back and shit? They basically do that for you.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of them
to the company
and negotiate your bills down and stuff like that. So I did it with all my bills. They can even do it with medical bills, because that's also another thing people don't realize. You can actually negotiate your medical bills.
No, it's they'll do it. There's a lot of them too that'll do it for overdraft fees and stuff. If you overdraft from your account, because they'll just you'll be like, oh, this is my bank, and they'll just literally first they'll be like, hey, this guy's been a customer for a long time. You should give him fucking his overdraft fees back. And if they don't do that, then they just spam the shit out of them.
Yeah.
Until they give you at least part of your overdraft fees back.
Yeah. No, I used to use all those services. Anytime I have a reoccurring bill, especially if I cell phones. Since I switched to the cell phone plan where we just pay what we use, I haven't had to do that. But unlike when we had the actual big plans and you pay however much for unlimited or anything like that, you just put your number in there and your account number and stuff, and they'll call them and be like, you should lower his bill, and they're like, fine, here's $50 off.
Yeah, they'll be $50 off for 2 months, and then you
yeah, whatever, and then you just do it again.
But yeah, I don't want to get too far into it, but overdraft fees and stuff like that for banks, they bother the shit out of me, because it's not like the old days where you had fucking people in there fucking doing the shit.
Oh yeah, it's all automated.
It's literally a computer just going, no, you don't have money.
You know why they exist? It is a weird governmental issue why they exist. Is it the FDIC? Is it
probably?
Yeah, they overregulate.
An acronym. Who would have thought?
They overregulate so much on banks that banks have a hard time making money, so they find the ways that they can make money. One of them is high interest loans and overdraft fees. They can make a fucking shit ton on overdraft fees. The day the government outlaws overdraft fees, banks might as well just close up and go home.
No, because they make an ass ton of money fucking
using
using your money to fucking loan other
people.
Well,
yes. Yeah, there's that. But
Like
one of like their extra revenue, like the upfront immediate revenue, is those weird stupid fees,
like a bank's
ATM fees.
A bank's favorite person is someone with high income and really good credit because they're like, oh, they're going to pay this bill, and even if we charge them 2% over time, right? That's a guaranteed 2% that we're going to get. And then at the same time, they really like the subprime borrowers because they can charge them an ass ton of interest outside of usury laws, but they can charge them ridiculous amounts of interest. And at least they know for a little while they'll get the money. And then if they just have to repo the car, they can repo the car and sell it. But chances are there's still like, there's not going to be that big of a deterioration in time.
Well, it's like fucking mortgage insurance. Like if you don't pay enough down on your mortgage, you have to carry mortgage insurance. Like, and you have to pay for it. You have to pay like $70 a month.
It's more than that sometimes.
I mean,
it depends on
the
loan.
value of your house, but I mean, like the average person was paying like $70 a month, like to insure the bank's fucking loan.
Yeah, and like banks also
I mean, that's like if I was paying, like you had to pay for my life insurance, like.
Yeah, that's weird.
I mean, when you put it that way,
like you had to pay for my life insurance that you were never gonna fucking get. Like it's gonna go to my mom, but you're paying for it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, a lot of times with those mortgages and stuff too, they immediately sell it
oh yeah, I have never
to another company.
Every time I've gotten a mortgage, I've owned 4 houses.
That's where the housing bubble came from. Is the fucking
Some
all the subprime fucking lenders, they rolled them all up and sold them off to other people. And
Yeah.
fucking-
There's also Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac too. There's a lot of issues there
Yeah.
too.
yeah.
Also,
a
also-
combination
those
of
are just two of
government.
the biggest ones. I mean,
well, they also failed a little bit in part because of Enron. They were all tied up in
Yeah.
craziness.
I mean, Enron
Enron.
that was an entire fucked up situation.
Enron was controlling a hell of a lot.
They were controlling politics, yeah,
and, like,
elections and
California and stuff,
And they were selling nothing. They literally were
selling
moving nothing.
like future profit. Basically, they would record future profit on the books now to inflate. It was weird.
It's like that chick we were talking about earlier who did the blood thing.
The blood thing.
Yeah, she invented this new way of like testing
Thanos
for
or whatever
blood.
the fuck it
yeah.
was.
Yeah.
What?
And it was a fucking scam. It ended up being not really a kind of a scam. She had nothing. She came up with this plan on using blood testing, I guess.
It was like super fast blood testing, and like it wasn't physically possible for them to do what they were doing. They were just fudging results and shit.
But they still sold the machines to hospitals.
Yeah,
right?
they sold the machines to hospitals. They brought in like billions of dollars worth of funding for venture capitalists. Like,
Yeah.
and frauded everybody.
Yeah.
Lost
And then
everything.
the only thing that the machine could ever actually detect was herpes.
Yep.
And they were like, oh, yeah, you can detect anything with it. And no, it was just herpes.
Overpriced herpes tester.
Yeah, pretty much.
Weird.
Yeah, and she's in jail or going to jail. I don't know if they.
she's been in jail for a
that
little
was
while.
the problem with Enron. It lasted a long time, and the people of Enron got super rich, while their whole company, like everyone who worked for them, like pretty much lost everything, all their stocks, everything. And when they went to try them, they were so old they died before none of them got punished.
That's what happens with most fucking fraud. Like, I mean, I worked with a guy when I was my first job out of the Navy. Like, he worked for a company that they literally showed up one day and the companies were just fucking shut down. Like they had arrested like all of the people, like, and all of their money was gone because all the fucking people who they stole money from came and got all their money first, and so they didn't have like, his entire 401k, pension, everything's just fucking gone.
That's what happened with Enron,
yeah.
and it was a huge company employing so many people. Like, it was a huge crash.
Yeah, and
that happened. Sorry, that happened to a guy that I used to work with. He was a contractor in South Korea, and the company.
Oh yeah, I remember fucking hearing about that one.
The company he worked for went out of business, and they were like, "Sorry, we're shutting down to like time today." And he was like, "How the fuck do I get back to the U.S.?" And they're like, "I don't know. We don't have money figured out."
So like, hey, you're not our employee anymore. We don't care.
Yeah, so they just like left all these people in South Korea, and he had to live in South Korea for like 2 months before the government would actually like do some payroll shit to help their contractors out and send him back home. Crazy. But yeah, he was in Korea for 2 months not getting paid. Like, And you can't just like stay somewhere. Luckily, I think the government, when that happened and everyone complained, they were like, "Oh yeah, you can go and stay in like the barracks or something like that." I mean, that's shit.
Yeah, he's probably like fucking stuck on the base.
Yeah,
he probably couldn't like go out.
Oh yeah, I mean, he doesn't have.
Yeah, because he was probably there on like a work visa. Like just. Yeah, it's just so fucked up, man.
Yeah, it was like a really fucked up situation.
That's like the fucking what is it that it's happened a couple times, but like the British fucking vacation company, like there's like one of the British airlines that vacation companies, and they just shut down overnight. They just stranded all their fucking passengers wherever the hell they were. Like
that actually.
Then it became a one-way trip to Jacksonville. No, I'm just kidding.
God damn it!
It's a one-way trip to Iraq. Oh wait,
but they.
But it was only supposed to be a connecting flight.
Pretty much. Oh shit! Get me out of here.
Yeah, imagine like getting off the plane like somewhere you don't want to be, and they're like, "Airline shut down. Bye."
Yeah, see ya. Wait, what?
In the middle of a connection.
I'm in the middle of frickin' Cabal. Wait, no.
Where are you? I'm in the middle of fucking Minnesota in the winter.
Yeah.
Let's see.
But I only packed tropical clothes because where I was going.
I was going to Jacksonville. What the fuck?
No,
Well,
stay
now
in
they
Minnesota.
know you're lying. So
Stay in Minnesota. You're probably right there. Yeah, but I couldn't imagine that. Yeah, like, I'm on this round trip flight. You finally take this big vacation because they're like a big international airline.
Oh, and they've been around for like
Long
they were
fucking
around for like
time.
140 years or some shit like that.
Yeah,
like
they were,
before airplanes even existed, these people were doing fucking vacations. Like,
I gotta find out what it is.
and they're just like, bye.
thanks for playing.
I was like, I don't know how like
We
how
knew
can
you
you do that?
We know you could have flown any other airline. You fucked up. You picked another one.
We know you could have flown
Thomas
another
Cook.
airline, but you probably should have.
It was Thomas Cook Airlines.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it.
It was Thomas Cook. Yeah, and they just completely shut down, stranded absolutely everybody, and they had the European Union and stuff all had to get together because England was still a part of it then, and they had to get together and figure out what to do. Right, so they actually created a law that they will use military planes, and then there's a small subset of like British Airways, Air France, like they're airlines that will do repatriation flights. So they have to like get everyone who had booked tickets on that together and figure out how to get them everywhere they need to be as cheap as possible because the government's paying for all these people to fly around because the company went out of business.
Yeah, imagine calling your boss though and being like, "Hey, I'm not gonna be able to come into work on Monday like I was supposed to." Like, why? The airline fucking shut down.
Turn on the TV and go to BBC One.
That happened.
That'd be the worst is if you like didn't tell your boss you were on vacation. You went to fucking, you flew somewhere over the weekend. Like, yeah,
you're in Madagascar.
And now you're stuck there because the airline just fucking collapsed. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty
but
much.
Nowadays you could probably work from wherever. Well, not really.
I mean,
not
if you brought your
Some
fucking
people.
computer with
Not
you.
anymore.
It's true.
You gotta go back to work to build culture.
Don't get me started, man.
It's culture, man.
Every day.
It's company
Every day.
fucking culture. Accept it, love it, and embrace it.
Never.
Goddamn millennials. Even though I am one, but still.
Depending on what list you look at.
Just kidding. Yeah, it is actually a weird one. They're like, you're Gen X. Then the next list's like, you're a millennial.
For you?
I mean,
yeah, you're like late millennial or early.
Early
then
millennial
you,
or late
then you got
millennial.
the one
yeah,
that's
what
there's
it
the
is.
list where it's like, no, you're like part of that weird subset between 1980 and 83, which is its own generation. But how the fuck can 3 years be its own generation?
A lot of horny bastards in that one. Damn.
God damn.
Some weird fucking people born in that fucking.
Yeah,
3
it
years.
just makes sense. You know,
You
Fucking
just
at
don't
3?
fit
you
in.
just say he's an early millennial. That's okay.
No.
I think
Which carries
You
some
just-
traits of the Gen X.
I think all these generational
Nick,
things are stupid.
It's probably
anyway.
bullshit.
Like,
I
Yeah.
think we figured out the problem. You just don't fit in anywhere. Can't
I
even
don't.
fit into a generation.
I don't. I am the true ultimate individual.
'cause they have all these different generations. Like there's the
Along
silent
with every other
generation.
3-year person in that.
Yeah,
time span.
apparently. But along with everybody born between 1980 and 83.
Yeah, but there's like the silent generation for people. It was people born from 1928 to 1945, right?
Yeah.
But then there's the greatest generation, which was
Who's giving out these names?
I don't know. The people born during that.
I think it's all bullshit.
Why can't we name ourselves?
No, the greatest generation was in between.
No, you don't get to name yourself.
Because then, like...
It's like giving yourself a nickname.
I think they do it so we have an excuse to talk shit about the one that came before us.
Maybe.
Or after us.
Okay, so the greatest generation was until 1927, 1901 to 1927.
Yeah.
And then the silent generation was till 25. The boomers, which ruined the entire world, was 46 to 64.
My point exactly. Samantha can talk shit.
Gen X was 65 to 80. Millennial is 81 to 95 on this list. Again, like you can... I guarantee if you Google this,
so
you're going
I'm
to get a different
technically a
fucking list.
Gen X?
No, yeah, I guess. Maybe.
I don't know.
Gen Z.
You're an ex-millennial.
What? I used to be a millennial.
Gen Z is until
You're
2010. Oh, and the new one.
What's the new one?
Generation Alpha.
Really?
Yeah.
Who fucking
They're
named that?
fucking alphas?
Yeah, I guess.
Dude, alphas.
Bro, Alpha.
Dude,
Oh my
bro.
God.
Dude, bro, I'm such an alpha.
I fucking hate that term. So
Oh my
much.
God.
I do too.
Oh, it's so bad.
We
It's
joke
just-
about it
it's
at work
not
all the
a-
time.
It's not a fucking thing. It's
No.
not a real fucking
The
thing.
entire thing was debunked by the guy who did the study, right? He took a whole bunch of different wolves from a whole bunch of different packs, put them all together, and they were like, look, that one's the alpha. I'm like, yeah, you took a whole bunch of male wolves from different packs who didn't know each other. Yeah, like, normally wolves live in very small groups with, like, mama wolf and daddy wolf and a bunch of little baby wolves. Like, that's how they work.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you can't really do a test on anything when you take it out of its environment. Put
Yeah,
it in
right.
Another environment.
See how you do in this environment.
Me and the shop foreman joke about that shit all the time. He'll be like doing something because I was like sick one day. I was out. He's like, Nick, why were you sick? I'm like, man, I get sick sometimes. I'm sorry. He goes, I never get sick. You know why? It's because you're a fucking alpha. He's like, yeah, bitch. It's just fucking. And then he got sick this past week. I'm like, where have you been, bitch? He goes, I thought you were an alpha. Fuck you, Nick. It's just jokes, you know. But yeah, I've met people who are serious.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
When,
Like they are alphas. I'm like, no, there's no such thing, dude.
I don't know if we talked about this before, but we're going to end up repeating
Maybe.
topics. So when we flew from Hawaii,
Yeah.
there's these people in there, and they were just douchebags anyway, right? Like they spilled like this whole giant thing of fucking like the naked juice under their seat. Saw it, totally looked at it, and then just walked the fuck away. Like in the middle of the
Naked
Maui,
juice is a fucking smoothie. That's a
Yeah.
noticeable stain.
on carpet
Yeah.
in the
Very
Maui
thick and
airport,
gross.
right?
They're like,
and
nah, I'm not
and
gonna
by the
deal with that.
by the way, the Maui airport is all pretty much outside. It's open air, like most everything there. Yeah, right. So yeah, good job
In the heat.
to those people.
You know?
And so
They're
he had
alphas,
this,
dude.
he had this little baby. This tiny little
Inconsiderate
baby.
is what they are.
He had this tiny little baby born with her, and I mean the most plastic fucking people you'll ever see. Like a mom and her daughter were comparing how many Instagram followers they had. Like they're these type of people.
Fuck.
Yeah, right. So and
Get in
like
so much trouble.
and like someone from the Real Housewives, she's like the Real Housewives like me and they follow me on Instagram. Yeah, she's from the Real Housewives. Is she following you? No, she's not. And I'm like, holy shit! Like, I hope this plane crashes and I'm on it. Because I will sacrifice my life to get rid of people like you.
But fucking bad, dude.
This little tiny baby that he's holding, right, like reaches up and grabs the dude's like stupid necklace, you know, his
He's got a chain.
the chain
you
on and
know.
shit like that. 'Cause he's
Are
douchey.
they from the
Of course
fucking
he does.
Jersey Shore?
Unfortunately,
They
he's
were
from
flying to
Scottsdale.
Phoenix, so
yeah,
I
and
don't-
I'm pretty sure he's probably some sports player or
It was
something
the
like that.
the little situation.
Because he he looked like someone who would play sports, and he kind of acted like people
was
knew
Bicker.
should know who he is and stuff like that. And so the baby reaches up and grabs his chain, and he's like, "Oh my god, she's gonna grow up to be such an alpha." And like, it was right then I was just like, "Fuck." Like, how do people like you still exist in this world? You are so fucking terrible of a person. I hope you die in the worst like way possible. Like,
You hope their feet explode?
Yeah, I
while
hope,
they're
Yeah,
I
driving
hope
down the
you
road?
die for your baby's sake.
yeah, let's put your baby in. I want your baby to go to foster care because at least she'll grow up with half of a brain.
God damn.
Like, Jesus,
Rough, guys. Rough.
I hate people like that. God, I can't stand phony, fake bullshit, and that's what he was. He just had to show how big his fucking dick was at every time.
But the problem is it probably isn't.
Yeah,
It's
right?
like fucking the size
like
of
he's
a
got- the
goddamn
guy was-
pencil eraser.
Guy was overcompensating.
Is that dick or a nipple?
It's a dickle.
Yeah, but like that guy was compensating for every single point in his life, and I'm just like, how can you be
That's
that
awful.
fake? Like, who are you? You have no idea who you are.
No, none at all.
At that
I
point
know
in your
a lot of
life,
people
when you
like
are
that.
so devoted to that lifestyle, you are no longer who you are. You are just who everyone wants you to be.
Yeah.
Remember who you are. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, that's a big thing. You know, that's a common thing in what they call them glory seekers. Like, there's a difference between achieving and being a glory seeker. Like, the guy's like, I gotta be the best, and always running. You eventually lose yourself.
That's what I was gonna say.
I wanna be the very best.
Pokemon is the cause of it. No,
No, but you know what?
Go fuck yourself.
But you know what? Ash was like probably not he might have been an achiever, I guess. No, he was probably a glory seeker.
Yeah, because he got like the achieving type. Like, I want to work my way towards this.
No, he was a real underachiever. He didn't win shit.
No.
Ever.
He didn't learn about. He didn't learn anything about the Pokemon he actually had.
No. All he did was Pikachu go, and like somehow Pikachu won every single type disadvantage in the world.
Yeah,
But
fucking
I'm gonna fight
adorable.
I'm gonna fight a Sandshrew. What should I fight with? Pikachu.
yeah, right.
Like types are a
you
thing,
have
Ash.
a Squirtle.
Types are a thing, Ash.
It's literally that Pokemon is literally invulnerable to what you're fucking putting
Actually,
out there.
the
You
cutest
have a
Pokemon
Squirtle.
is the Squirtle. I think.
Wrong.
Wait, what did he say?
The cutest Pokemon is Squirtle. Wrong.
It's Squirtle.
Squirrel's pretty cute.
It's
He's
not.
fucking adorable.
He is cute. I don't think he's the
Then he
cutest.
gets a little like tank shit on him. Is that the one that turns into like a little?
Blastoise?
Blastoise,
Yeah,
yes.
it's fucking adorable.
I don't think anyone would consider Blastoise adorable. Like,
I
if
don't
you
know.
saw a 7 foot tall, like 2-ton turtle with cannons on its back, you would not be like, "That's
I'd be like,
adorable."
I don't know
fucking
how they
cute.
live
I know a few people
in
that
that
probably would.
area.
I would totally.
Like
Yeah,
the
like-
people that go up and like pet fucking spiders and shit.
My dad takes photographs of spiders out in the woods all the time, and mushrooms. Those are the main
He
photos
does
I
it to
get from
torture
his
your
woods.
sister.
Probably. My sister's terrified of spiders. Legit. Like
Who-
crazy. We went and saw Harry Potter Chamber of Secrets. You know, and it has the giant spiders and all the spider scenes and whatever. She was literally climbing up my mom, screaming so loud that people outside the theater is like, shit, people are being murdered in there. Like,
She almost did that to me when we saw the Hobbit movie. They did like the scene where you're like,
Oh,
oh
with the-
fuck, the spider's coming. And I was like, oh no. That woman like tried to bury herself into my back. And I'm like, what are you okay?
She's
like, spider. I'm like,
terrified.
I don't think it's happening.
Whenever anyone walks into a dark cave in a fucking like fantasy movie, you should just like have her go get popcorn.
Yeah, giant
Because
spiders.
there's
Like,
fucking giant
you need to
spiders
go get some
coming.
popcorn.
99% chance
there
giant
was
spiders. Or dragon.
there was a D&D.
Or a dragon spider.
Not D&D, sorry. At Dave & Buster's.
Yeah, D&D. Dave & Buster's, same thing.
Same, yeah, well, that is true.
No, it's
No,
not.
it's
No,
not
it's
at all.
D&B. Anyway,
B&D.
acronyms.
B&D.
So
BDSM.
BDS. S&M.
that's not the point.
Breaking
There's
and entering.
this game called
B&D.
There's a game called Jungle Safari that I was watching people play.
Sickfari. Jungle Sickfari, bro. So alpha.
So alpha.
Okay,
So-
continue on.
I was watching the person before play it. Tommy's off doing whatever, and it's a game, you know, one of those shooter games, and it has giant bugs in it, and whatever, like spiders and what. I was like, okay, and the kid left, and I was like, Tommy, we should play this game. She's like, oh, Jungle Safari. What are we gonna be shooting, rhinos? And like the thing came up with just all the spiders, and she almost ripped that gun off the game thing. But she did. She got farther in the game than I did. So her terrified fear
Oh yeah.
kicked that spider's
One of
ass.
my favorite
her, like,
things-
her fight reflex fucking kicked in. She's like,
No. I loaded up The Last
It
of
was
Us for her
amazing.
one day. I said, you know what, you need to play this game. It was like one of those, like we used to trade off controllers. And I was like, here, Tommy, you can play it. She's like, this game is so sad. Like the beginning of it, she's like, oh my God, so heartbreaking. Dude, she can panic headshot a zombie better than anybody I've ever
She
seen.
is actually pretty good.
There's like a part where she's hanging up, like the character Joel is hanging upside down. And I'm like, she's like, oh, what do I do? What do I do? I said, well, you got to kill that guy first. She's like, come on. I'm like, holy fuck. She just like headshotted all of the zombies and then hit the fucking thing to lower her. I'm like, I've watched you play this for like 5 hours now. How?
I love her so much, but
She just has an amazing fight fucking
she
reflex.
does.
Oh, she does. It's
'cause
amazing.
We played BioShock, and that game's a first-person horror-ish game.
It's a horror game.
So
It's a horse.
I mean,
So much
I didn't
horror.
like it, but I wouldn't call it that.
yeah, and it was fun to watch her at first because all her like, they jump up in front of you and whatever. Her like, she's like ah, and she like shoots a coffin because it just like fell over. And I'm like, there's nothing there. You're shooting at nothing. You're wasting bullets. But she played through the whole game, and
She's beat 'em all.
I watched her at first, but then she got used to it, and then she's like, I'm just killing everything, and she like beat the whole game.
Yeah, she beat 'em all.
She loved it. She
loves them
BioShock.
all. It's like her
But
favorite. She's talked about those
she's
games
very
all the time.
entertaining watching her play things. It's just
L.A.
fun.
Noire is amazing. I
She
don't want to
hated
walk
that
up the
game.
stairs.
Oh, that was.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Tommy gets so.
Oh my
she
God, I
gets
have
so
to walk
into
up the
it.
So
stairs. Like,
hilarious.
Yeah.
there's no elevator here. You're playing a game.
Like Tommy, you're playing a game.
Well,
She's
because
like,
that's
oh
set
yeah.
back in what
20s.
20s or something.
Yeah,
It was
it's so
after
funny.
after World War One because the guy kept having World
No,
War
because
One
I had to
flashbacks.
ask her. I was sitting there
This is a
watching.
horrible fucking plan.
I was sitting there watching her,
Horrible
and,
floor plan.
and her character is just spinning in circles. She's like at the bottom floor of the apartment, spinning, like looking around. And I'm like, "What? What are you doing?" She's like, "Where's the elevator?" I'm like,
It's 1920s.
I
Yeah,
have
go
to.
upstairs.
I have to watch. I have to walk up the stairs. I'm like, "You don't. Your character does." She's probably gonna be like, "I listened to this, and I hate you all right now."
Or
Whenever she
my
ran
favorite-
somebody over,
Yeah.
oh my God, I'm a bad cop.
Or I don't want to drive. I'm a terrible driver. I'm like, Tommy, you're not driving your character. She's like, shut up.
Well, it's funny because actually in that game she missed the part where it said how to make the partner drive, and
Yeah.
and then later I was like, "No, you can make your partner drive," and she's like, "You son of a bitch."
By the way, Eleanor was.
I liked it. Okay.
Oh my God, the game sucked.
It's not the best game in the world, but I think what it was trying to do was
It was
different.
unique.
Tell their facial expressions, dude.
They
It's the
actually-
360. Like they didn't do that good of a job. Every facial expression looks like they have to poop.
They got actual actors to play those though, and they recorded their reactions.
I know, but if they did it now, right? If they brought
might be a
L.A.
little
Noir
better.
into like PS5
Oh, yeah.
or
I think
Xbox
there's a
One X or something.
VR LA Noir.
Yeah, but it's probably just the same thing ported over to VR. Like
Probably.
it probably still sucks.
I think
you're
it
right.
is. Yeah.
But like if they did it now when they can actually distinguish facial features, but on the 360, I mean that was 2 generations ago. Like
I don't know. Heavy Rain did a good job at
that was
doing.
PS4.
That's a pretty good
That's
one.
3.
Oh, was it 3?
That is 3. They
Yeah,
did a very
it
good
was
job.
3. That was
Oh, L.A. Noir came out on Xbox. It was
Yeah,
an
no,
exclusive.
Xbox 360. It was
Yeah.
on both. I watched a thing on it. They were talking about how they did like mocapping on the faces, but we do mocapping so different now
True.
that we can like before it used to look amazing, like all things, right? That's the problem with CG movies, right? You do this so much
God,
CG in a
here we go.
movie, after a while it looks like shit.
No, it's funny because we watched
The One.
We watched the one
Looks like
last night
shit.
with Jet Li, and like I still like the movie. It's still
Oh,
an
yeah.
entertaining movie,
well,
but
thanks for the
It's an
invite.
action. It's an action
What?
movie.
Thanks for the invite.
I mean
Wow.
we were here, you weren't.
We were actually filming our movie.
The movie
review
Yeah, we
review.
were.
That you'll see in an upcoming thing sometime when
Yep.
Matt gets around editing it.
Yeah, whenever I
That's a
get to it.
great intro. You'll have to watch.
It
Oh, the
is.
intro. I'll show you the intro later.
It's quite
But
funny.
so we watched it last night, right? And
I
this,
nearly busted my ass,
Sorry,
like
Brandon.
literally.
but the
Yeah, quit.
but the CG in that movie looks so fucking dated. Like
It
when I
does.
watched it the first time, you're like, oh, cool, that's cool. And now you look at it and you're like,
Well, and I was sitting there looking at it, I was like, man, it looks so fuzzy because
Yeah.
it's not 4K.
Yeah,
it's
yes.
not HD at
It's
all.
not even
Yeah.
just animated stuff though. It's like real TV. Like
Yeah.
you see like sports games and you're like, oh, that must be from like the
Sure.
1980s, and then it's like, no, it was from like 2007.
Yeah, I watched a highlight reel of Thurman Thomas, right? 1990s. And he's running like, I can barely read the number on his jersey. It's it's so grainy and old. I'm like, it's not that long ago.
I remember when HD like first came out and like DirecTV had the sports channels in 1080, right?
Yeah, looked
And, like,
amazing.
yeah, and they were sitting there, and they had a friend of mine had way more money than our family had, and he had this giant ass like it was still a projector TV, right? So it's still this massive fucking
thing.
TV, right?
Weighed about 12,000 pounds.
yeah,
Had,
but it
like,
was
a giant
you
back out the
You,
back.
you sell it, it just stays at the house whenever you sell it because you can't fucking move that thing.
yeah,
Right,
pretty much.
like
You need a
pool- like
fucking
pool tables.
forklift. Yeah.
Oh.
So like we're sitting there watching a football game there, and he's like, "Oh my god, it looks so good. I'm pretty sure you could see the players fart." And we would probably look at that now and be like, "That looks awful."
Oh yeah.
And then you got UHD now.
So I was telling you, like it was like 2007, like the Rose Bowl between like USC and Texas, like they're one of the best college football games ever. But it's like, I mean, I guess when I watched it, it looked great, but like now you just look at it and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
One of my favorite things to do, I love UFC, so I'll watch old fights, like old fights. I wouldn't watch that. You know, I never got to see Anderson Silva in his prime, so I'm going to go watch Anderson Silva in his prime. That shit's hard to watch.
Yeah. Well, they haven't quite figured out the cameras yet.
Yeah, it's because it's so...
Right, we're back again because we had dog interruptions this time. It wasn't Nick's fault. You were talking about
It wasn't
Anderson
even my
Silva
dog's
fights.
fault this time. And I also went back and did like old Don Fry fights. That shit, it's funny because it kind of had WWE intros back then.
Yeah.
And, you know, he was good. I mean, he was good.
Don Fry Takayama fight.
Oh, yeah.
Where he just like, it's just two big fucking people. Like, they're just giant ass people.
Oh, yeah.
And
He's
they come
huge.
out, right?
Absolutely.
And they just both grab onto the back of each other's heads and just start
Just
fucking
fucking
punching each other in
each-
the face.
And they're like, ugh!
like
you know?
nonstop. They're just like, and like, they did that until one of them stopped.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah,
God
early
damn.
UFC shit, it's like, and it's weird because Don Fry wore shoes.
Yeah.
Most UFC fighters don't, like today, they don't wear shoes. He wore shoes. He wore wrestling shoes and knee pads. You don't see that anymore.
Yeah.
It's so weird watching that old stuff. You're like, that's fucking weird.
I mean, are they even allowed to wear that anymore?
And they didn't always wear gloves. There was a time when Don Fry fought, they didn't wear gloves.
Just fisted.
Yeah, they just straight fucking
That's not what I meant.
wrap their hands up with tape, and
just
I'm going to punch
fisted
you in the head.
everybody.
And apparently fisted you.
that
I
is,
don't know. I don't think so.
that is
It's
a
different
weird.
things.
That's
We're not
some,
talking Pornhub here, Jim.
yeah, is that some weird Japanese game show where like just two people come out and fist each other and see who gives up
Did you
first?
ever see the
I
one-
wouldn't be
It's
surprised.
the United Fisting Competition.
The UFC. You know, the ultimate fisting championship.
Oh man.
This guy took.
I wouldn't be surprised if that was a Japanese game though.
I mean, there was the one where they
This
would.
guy went 5 rounds with a giant hand in his ass.
There was a game show where they like blow the guy where he's trying to spell like Mississippi. I mean, I would not be surprised.
I would totally go on that. Like, I spell terribly anyway, but I would still go on that game show just to get a blowjob. Like, I don't care. Like,
Right.
are you gonna win? No
We
way.
need you to spell cat. Ha 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 ha.
I miss some of our old game shows like Double Dare. There was one that was really fucked up. They isolated them. It was
That's
legit.
creepy.
They put them in these 4 rooms and they're isolated. Like they don't have
like that.
human contact, whatever, and they had to perform tasks. But to win the game, you couldn't tap out, right? So you had to be the last one, but you didn't know when the other contestants tapped out. So they could all be like already gone, and you're just there for like weeks and weeks thinking, do you think everyone dropped out yet? I don't know. And they
Fuck
started
that
going
game.
like crazy.
Are
It was
you-
an
I would
interesting
go
fucking
crazy.
game to
Are you
watch.
sure you just weren't watching Saw?
No. It was a
That
legit
sounds
game.
Like
It was
actually
a
sounds like a
legit
show from
game
the Discovery
show.
Channel. Like they had like. the
Were
one
they
where, like,
naked and afraid?
They were
Oh
not
my god,
Naked
dude,
and
that
Afraid.
show. I love Naked
My
and
dad
Afraid.
wants to go on Naked and Afraid.
Because there's always one person that's like should be out there and one person that should.
Oh, it's
definitely
usually
not.
okay. Most of the time, and it's not every time, right? And sometimes you have like some random dude, but most of the time, the dude is like this extreme survivalist or something like that. He's like, I go out in the woods just for fun. I haven't taken a shit in a toilet in 17 years. And you got this woman like, I'm a
just wanna-
stay-at-home mom. My luxury I brought with me is a frying pan.
Oh, no, I watched one where it was a dude, like the dude was like British Special Forces. Like he's been in like all these horrible situations, and the girl was like, she was like a fucking like college student from Connecticut. And she's like, I just want to prove to myself that I can do this. And like it was like 5 hours in, and she's like, I can't do this.
Fucking awful.
And sometimes I've seen a couple episodes where they have like a woman survivalist out there, and they just bring some like dude office worker, like IT guy, and he's like, I'm an IT guy, I'm strong. Oh no, my glasses broke, I have to quit.
No, I mean it's easy to tell. Like it's easy to tell who's the person that should be out there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, my dad wants to go on that game show, and he's like, we should do it. And my mom's like, no, you can go. And he's like, what if I have to cuddle for warmth? And she's like, I don't care. I'm not doing it. But I always thought he should be on Survivor, too. Because he legit goes out in the woods, cut down trees for helicopter pads. And
that's not what Survivor's about, though.
No, but I thought it would be funny because he would probably go off in the woods for days. And they'd be like, I don't know what happened to Josh. Where'd
Josh
he
is
go?
dead.
Yeah. And he would just show up randomly with giant food or something. Be like, well, I guess we're keeping this guy. I mean, he's never around for the games. But
so you would lose immediately because they would just disqualify you because you fucking disappeared.
Well, that's my problem with Survivor. Is it's like it's not about Survivor. It's about politics and kissing ass and then doing well enough at the games to get a free pass.
Yeah, but none of the games are actually that excruciatingly difficult. They're like eat a bug.
It was like Daniel Tosh told a joke about it, and he was like it's just funny because we have a game show competition where people go to survive in places where people already fucking live.
That's a good point. I mean,
I guess this is just white people go to third world countries.
Pretty much.
The African one was interesting because that was legit. They already had to build a whole lion thing to keep the lions out, or otherwise everyone would have been eaten by lions.
Yeah, minus the giant crew of people they have around the perimeter with fucking guns.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah, right.
The whole thing is
none of them are ever in danger at any point in time, and if they just feel sad and want to leave, they can just leave.
I always thought the whole premise of the show was stupid. I've watched 2 episodes. I'm like, no.
The real winner of Survivor is the host who gets to go to all these amazing places, stay in a hotel, and then show up just for the games and be like, yes, we're doing this game.
And then
I'm going back to the beach.
To watch all these people make fucking jackasses of themselves.
Or you had the woman who won
and
then married him. Did she win? Or she runner up?
No,
I remember she won or she was runner up, but then she just married the host, and I was like, she's the ultimate winner of Survivor. She gets all his money and doesn't have to do shit.
Exactly. I mean, the dude. I mean, I will give him credit. And the camera crew. Think about all the people who filmed that shit. They're like, all right, guys, you're going to bed. All right, we're going home. We're gonna go sleep in the nice hotel.
Yeah.
Peace.
I feel
and
bad
they cash those fucking checks.
I feel bad for some of the camera crews on certain shows. Like I watched Expedition Unknown. Those guys get put in some really fucked up situations.
Deadliest Catch. You ever watch the outtakes when the cameramen just get wiped out and shit? Deadliest Catch.
I would not be a fucking cameraman on that show.
Oh,
no way in hell.
It's legit already dangerous.
Yeah, I mean it's called The Deadliest Catch.
And then you're just sitting there with a camera. Yeah.
Actually, that was a pretty good reality show. For a long time, it was. And then it got weird. Yeah. They started bringing in these weird dudes who are just like, I like to go to port and have sex and then get back in the water. Like, what the fuck?
I catch crabs.
More
than once.
I catch crabs at sea and on land.
It was weird. They had some weird personalities. But the first, I'd say 5 or 6 seasons of that show were amazing. I loved it. I watched it all the time. It was so good.
It was until the one guy fucking died.
Yeah. Well, his sons were okay, right? It was still good 3 or 4 years after. And then the one Stig, I think he was retiring. I don't know if he retired. I have to look. But he's getting ready to retire, and he started having other random people take over. And they were just fucking irritating. It's like, no, he's cool. Unfortunately, the dude who passed away was cool. But his kids are pretty good. And he was good. But why do you let it? Oh, it sucks now. It's just you lose.
We don't want Timmy.
No, you lose all the personality of the show.
Yeah, there's always most of the shows always go way longer than they should.
They do.
Oh yeah. One of the ones I never understood was Ice Road Truckers.
Right? Yeah, I know. I love that they show the hill. I'm like, that's a typical northern Maine hill. Why are we making a big deal?
Dun, 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 dun,
but it's a semi truck. They drive semi trucks in the northern Maine hills too.
He has to drive on the ice.
They were talking to
that's 36 feet deep.
Yeah, they were talking to real truckers that have done those routes, and they're like, no, they just needlessly put them in fucking bad situations because
it's awful
for the show.
Drama.
No one would do 90% of the shit that they do on the show.
It used to irritate the shit out of me. I would watch that show and be annoyed because I'm like, no, Deadliest Catch was good. They had something. That's fucking stupid.
I was watching one episode of Ice Road Truckers. I think Dad was watching it. And I was still living at home, and the truck driver was like in his truck driving on the ice or something like that, and he's like, "Look, a raven" at the beginning of it, and then like he's driving on the ice and he hears like a crack, and then a raven flies by again. He's like, "That bird's taking me to safety."
or it's Evermore, and he's actually here to kill you.
Nevermore.
Whatever.
But
one of the two.
It is Nevermore.
The Raven, Nevermore. Yeah.
Remember, I'm not good at English.
But he.
Choose your translator, by the way, when you go to France.
No,
I'm just letting you know.
No, my phone is my translator.
Yeah, probably. And like, if she needs to pronounce anything, she's probably just gonna hand it to me.
What the hell is this? I don't know. You guys are so fucked.
By the way, I looked it up because I was curious. The show was called Solitary. That was the name of the show.
That just sounds awful.
And they isolate them in these rooms, and they had to do tasks every so often, but they legit were going crazy. And
Solitary.
I thought it was like a '90s show or something. No, it was produced in 2006. So
I mean, it's awful.
Solitary
pretty much a
confinement,
90s show.
like solitary confinement in most countries except for the United States, is considered a form of torture.
Yeah, it's the worst thing. And all of you can put this person around murderers, rapists, and all sorts of badness. And the worst thing you can do to that person is put them in a solitary confinement.
we need people. I mean,
You
a
do.
lot of people over the course of this year needed people.
Oh, absolutely.
you can
when we
tell.
were all locked down. So
You can tell the people that had no friends and all they did was like get absorbed into their work because they're like, when are we going back to the office? No one likes me out here. Like,
The
no
real
one
world hates me.
No one likes you in there either.
I don't know how to
They're
talk
just
to
being nice.
I don't know how to talk to people. It's not about work.
But yeah, isolation is not cool, man.
No, not at all.
I
No.
mean,
So it was a
I don't
game
mind
show
it as much
for
as
all
other
your
people, but-
entertainment. It actually lasted till like 2010. So you got
Really?
like 4 years of this show. You can go watch people
I probably could have won that show easily.
sitting in the
Yeah,
in your
I
little
think I might have
room,
to.
and
Like depending on what I have to do there. Like
Brandon would
it
just
was
be
kinda
chilling in
like-
his rocking chair the whole time.
they had like
Just
where you
be catching
ran
up on fucking sleep.
They had like where you had to run on like the
He hasn't
hamster
moved
wheel,
yet.
and there was like puzzles you had to figure out. But like I said, you could tap out at any time by
What if
hitting
you
the
just
button,
sat in your
but
room and
you
jerked
didn't
off the
know
entire
when
time?
the other contestants stopped playing.
So you're supposed to be doing tasks.
It's
Nope.
not like the last. It wasn't like they stopped the show once the last contestant dropped out.
He hasn't turned from that corner the whole game.
he's
Is-
been there for 3 weeks. He hasn't slept at all.
Well, so like the last contestant would win, but they wouldn't stop the show. So like if you were the second to last person and you dropped out, and this person's still going, and everyone else is gone,
Still going.
they kept filming. They didn't like, oh, you were the last one, congrats. They were like, nope, let's see how long this is gonna last till she taps out.
I mean,
Like-
it'd be pretty easy to figure out. You just go through the history of the show and then just.
I mean, yeah, if you're on like the
You
second
just-
season or something like that.
Yeah, you just look through you just look at the average number of times before all the people tapped out, and you just
Go one
Oh,
day
just-
longer.
and
You
then
hit
you
that
go
fucking
on
number a
the
little bit
the
over.
show.
Yeah.
But crazy.
Like I said,
that's probably why it only lasted 4 seasons.
like as long as they could just like give me a stack of like porno mags or something like that, I would easily make it through.
No, I don't,
However
I don't
long they
think
want
you
me to be in
got
there.
stuff. I don't remember it. I remember watching it. I don't remember it that
awesome.
well.
Like if they actually
can,
made
can
me
I have my dog with me?
No.
like if
Sorry,
they
your
No
dog's
Milo.
starving at home.
if they just were like,
It's not cool.
hey, here's a room, you get to be by yourself for a month, I'd probably be like, word. But if they actually make me do stuff, I'm gonna be
Yeah.
like, this is fucking lame. I
You
don't
had
want to
you
do
had to
things.
complete
Yeah,
the task, and
I-
if you didn't complete the task, you were also disqualified. So
I always fucking love those things on the internet where they're like, "Would you live in this abandoned cabin with fucking
No
for
internet
for a
and no
month with
phone."
no internet
And all
but
the
unlimited
fucktards you say
but
yes.
unlimited food and shit?" And I'm just like,
yes,
"Yeah, like you give me $1 million to fucking go on vacation for a month." Like,
Yeah, right.
well, a lot of
No.
people can't live without their phones.
You don't have
nowadays.
access to your smartphone, dude. I forget this thing fucking everywhere.
I do
you got to
too.
think like, I used to be on a place where this wasn't allowed to be
Oh,
in
that's-
that place for like
that's one of
the
them.
majority of my adult life.
one of them I saw was the fucking submarine. Like it was a picture of the fucking mid-level bear.
Middle
fucking
level.
room. Like, and it's like, would you live here for a month for like $10 million? It's like that was an option.
Yeah, shit. I lived there for many months for like less than minimum wage.
Those are the ones I was thinking. I was thinking like the ones where you started at was like, you could live here, or you could live in this city with all of this stuff. And people are like, all these fucking people are like, yeah, I would totally live in the cab. Like, no, you wouldn't. You don't get fucking internet. You can't look at Facebook to look at this stupid goddamn meme. No, you wouldn't. Shut the hell up.
Yeah, people always think they're hard up. And like you could tell that like when I guess when I joined the Navy and got to submarines and stuff like that, like it wasn't a big deal for me because I wasn't like attached to my cell phone. I didn't grow up with smartphones or anything like that. Yeah. But these new kids coming in, they're like, "What do you mean I can't bring my phone down there?" I'm like, "You can't bring your phone down there, bro." It's like,
but it's a part of me.
But how am I gonna?
It's attached to my.
What if someone texts me? Yeah, you'll catch him at like 6 when you're gonna leave.
No, I had my friend it was a fucking hiring manager for a company down fucking Tucson, and he was like, I mean, you need it. It worked in fucking spaces you weren't allowed to bring your phone in, and like kids would they would hire people out of college, and they would show up and they would find out they can't bring their phone in there, and they would quit day one.
Oh shit!
Because because they literally cannot be like disconnected from their phone.
Crazy.
Like legitimately, you could probably take my phone away from me and be like, you can't have a phone for a month, and I'd be like, cool.
I mean,
like, I'm gonna be so less stressed.
Most of the jobs, like the restaurant job and like retail jobs and whatever, you weren't allowed to have it on the floor. We had to put it in our lockers.
No, I mean it's a everyone's allowed to have it now. Like, sure. I mean, I've gone in like fucking Starbucks and shit with like the baristas are like checking their phone while they're making my drink.
Well, now I do mobile apps, so I have a phone for mobile apps.
Yeah, sure.
You can't get rid of it for my job. No, just
This is going to be like the weirdest cut fucking episode. It's just going to be Matt had to cut out all of the jackass.
Were you guys high when you were filming this?
No, that was the episode before that didn't come out.
Not this time.
For some reason, the files got corrupted. They knew I was fucking baked as shit, and they were just like, the computer was like, no, the world doesn't need to listen to this.
No, that was.
I thought it was decent when I did it.
Yeah, it was rough.
Yeah, but there's no proof.
Yeah, but anyway, me and Jim we went out to dinner.
Yep, we do that from time to time.
Yeah,
most of the time.
Last week, and
wrong.
We were at a restaurant that has yards of beer, and it's a house. And
it's not a house.
I was drinking beer, and the NBA game come on. Right, the finals are going on right now. Phoenix Suns are in the finals, up 2-1.
Oh, sorry.
Go Suns.
Boo.
And
I don't care.
Yeah, right. And the most annoying thing happened, right? And I know everyone out there is probably like, I know what he's about to say. And if you're a sports fan and you're in a restaurant and you're screaming at the goddamn screen like they can hear you,
please
stop. They can't. No one can fucking hear you. No one cares that you're so proud that people that you have no bearing on, they don't know you exist. And also, the TV doesn't have a microphone to transmit the sound directly to their ears.
Lies.
I mean, they probably have a microphone that transmits the sound directly to China, but they don't have a microphone that transmits the sound directly to that sports player. So you're there screaming, yeah,
boo,
and all you're doing,
boo,
all you're doing is just irritating everyone else. Legitimately, the sound of sports fans screaming in a sports bar is equatable to a baby screaming in my ear. It's horrible.
You can do it at home, guys. If you're at home, scream all you want.
Cynical.
It's not.
Man.
Okay, I've been to restaurants. If the whole restaurant's into it, like the entire place.
Yeah, if you're better. If you're in a sports bar.
Well.
That sounds
more. No, but the problem is when it's just your table.
No, okay. So if you go to a sports bar, right, and they charge a cover charge to get in for like a fight or a game or something like that, right? Everyone in there they're paying extra money just to be in there. Like
that wasn't this restaurant.
They are going there to watch that, right, and to be loud jackasses, and that's perfectly fine. Like if I walk up to a restaurant, and there's a $5 cover or a $10 cover because there's a sports game on tonight, I'm gonna be like, I'll go somewhere else because I don't want to deal with that shit. And but then the restaurants that don't do that, have the TVs. So like every TV's on the sports game. These people are just like screaming at the fucking TV, loud as shit. And everyone is just looking at him, right? Because there's only like 2 tables that are doing it.
Well,
and everyone's just like, we're trying to eat dinner,
table.
bro.
It wasn't even their whole table. It was legit the 2 guys and the 2 women sitting there, and the 2 guys were the only ones yelling, and the other ones are like, you're like, okay, this is my life. And this is what I deal with every day. No, I'm just kidding.
Just embarrassed as shit. And I'm like,
I'm just numb to this now.
but it's so, I don't know why people do that. Like,
No, I mean, you got to be aware of your surroundings. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, and
it's okay to be passionate about the fucking shit. Like, but I mean, going to a sit down restaurant that's not a fucking sports bar. Like, you're not like. The people there aren't like there exclusively to either get shit faced or watch a game. Like, I mean, then that's not the place for it.
yeah, right. And these people just, God, it just irritates me. I don't know.
I don't know. I get pretty happy when I watch Conor McGregor get pounded on. I mean,
yeah, but I'll be in there
But
like,
you usually watch the games at home. You don't sit
Yeah, I
in
don't
the
go to bars.
restaurant yelling at it.
I
Yeah,
pay
it's-
for them.
It's not even restaurants and bars though. I mean, it's people at the game. Like, they get fucking over. I mean, there's been like
They get violent.
there's been like 5 or 6
Oh,
incidents
yeah.
this year just in Major League Baseball of people like punching each other out.
That's
Yeah,
a little
it's
ridiculous,
just like-
guys.
that
Don't
used to
fight
happen.
over the
That used to happen
teams.
at pretty much every single Jacksonville Jaguars game I went to.
That
like,
is true.
There's just someone minding their own business who is a fan of the other team, and then some Jacksonville dude's like, bro, what the fuck? And he's
Yeah,
like,
they tried that with Dad.
He's like, I grew up in New York. I like the Giants. And they're like, dude, not here. And he's like,
But
I work here, but I
like-
grew up in New York, and I like the Giants.
Yeah.
And they're like,
This is
I'm
like a-
going to kick your ass.
This is a, like 20,000 fucking seat stadium. Why can't you're saying that literally no other fucking fan other than a Jacksonville fan could be in here? Like,
well,
I mean, there's not that many
Considering-
Jacksonville fans.
Yeah,
considering
I mean, there's a
well,
lot
it
that
was the
pretend to
best-
be until halftime.
So most of the Jag games ended up being televised. They were blackout or not televised. No,
They were not televised.
they were
not televised. They didn't sell
blackout
enough
games
seats,
because
yeah.
they didn't sell enough seats. That's
For a
how
couple
terrible
years.
for
For a
a
couple
lot of
years.
years.
No, it was more than a
I
couple.
remember.
Yeah.
No,
it was like 3 years.
Jacksonville fans,
And
they
the
don't show up
only-
at all unless
and
they're
the-
good, which is very, very
Yes.
rare.
And
Yeah.
the only time
True.
that the game was actually shown on TV was when the Steelers came to town because the Steeler fans would fill the seats.
Oh,
Always.
they do that to like every stadium though. Like,
Fuck the Steelers.
Oh yeah, no, but
that's because
I'm
there's-
just saying.
it's because they were so like it's just like the Cowboys. Like, and
just
there's
don't-
fans everywhere just
The
because
problem
they were
is-
so good for a long period of time.
Well,
I'll
I d-
take a Steelers fan over a Cowboys fan because a Cowboys fan's like, it's America's team. Who the fuck voted on that? I'm sorry.
Who the fuck cares?
Considering all the teams are American teams because
I know.
football is only
America's
American?
team, you know. It used to always irritate me. I was like, who
Not
voted
America
on
team,
this?
America's team.
Yeah, like they're the ones.
America's?
America. But
Like, if you're not American, if you
but
don't like the Cowboys,
and then
fuck
people
you.
will like
They
shit
only
on the other
they only
team
like the
because
cheerleaders.
they're mediocre.
I'm just saying that's the only thing.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
no, and then people
I like redheaded cheerleaders.
Yeah, I do too, for sure. I pretty much like any cheerleader except for the fat one. There's the obligatory fat cheerleader. I don't like her. Every high school has to have one.
When I took acrobatics and stuff, she was one of the Jaguar cheerleaders. My instructor.
Oh, I thought you meant the fat one.
No,
And I was like,
No, not the fat
I
one.
don't
She
remember
was-
any
she
fat
was-
Jacksonville Jaguars
she
cheerleaders.
was good looking for sure.
But these people like absolutely hate the other team for some reason. Like,
Yeah,
I
Dad,
don't like you because you signed money. Someone else wanted to pay you.
Dad was a season ticket holder for
Mm-hmm.
2 years, and he would on Patriots would show up. He'd wear his Patriots hat. He's born and raised in Northern Maine. You don't get more New England, right? So he's all about the Patriots. So he'd show up there. People would talk shit. He'd just look at him like, "Really? We're gonna do this?" And they're like, "You know what?" His like look at me was mean because Dad has a mean
He does.
death stare.
He's got that
Without-
old crusty
Without
Master Chief look.
intentionally- I remember when we were dating, I was so scared of your dad. I love him now for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But like he was terrifying, and he didn't
All my
even
friends
do
were
anything.
scared of him.
He was just so quiet and just has this look to him.
Yeah, because he's just got that constant like quiet scolding going on.
It's that disapproving. Like, it's like I'm not really disapproving, but I'm disapproving.
So you're like,
like-
I don't know what I did.
I don't appreciate
just-
your life choices.
I just walked into the room.
You just walk in the room. You're like, I'm sorry.
All my friends in high school were always scared of Dad because he get, like when he was pissed, he'd get like the Sergeant Slaughter jaw and would like drop forward like and be like, "Oh shit, get the fuck out." But yeah.
He just got it down, man.
But yeah, he would give them that look, and they would just like, oh,
I'm sorry. My
I
bad.
apologize for
Good day.
insulting your fan
Good day,
base.
sir.
Go Tom Brady. You know? It's like, what the fuck happened?
I don't know. People always do that shit. And my favorite is like when people try to start shit and then like
Can't finish.
they realize that the person they're starting shit with is someone that they like are supposed to honor. Like when rednecks start talking shit to me because like I have handicap plates in my car or something like that, and they're like, "Oh, bro, why do you have handicap plates?" I'm a 100% disabled veteran. Oh, thank you for your service. Yeah,
Thank you for I love that.
Oh, you're about to talk shit to me, were you? Oh, because I have colored hair and I'm covered in tattoos.
That's the thing, anyway. A lot of the ageism type things, because we
Yeah.
did pull up to a restaurant like that and whatever, and the
I didn't
older-
hear it, but
you
oh
didn't
man, if
hear
I
it,
did.
But the two old people sitting in the parking lot still, because they were just talking in front of their cars for some reason, still taking up the handicap spot when they could move because they're no longer using it. Whatever. Yeah, and they were like, none of them look handicapped. Look at them. They're all
I remember
young.
that. I
It's
think
like,
I was in the car with you.
what the? You were. You
Yeah,
were
all of
there.
us were there.
Yeah.
The four of us
Yeah,
were there.
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and like I didn't hear it, right? Because I'm fucking deaf. But like if I would have
Stop
heard that,
judging people.
yeah, if I would have heard that, man, I just
Not
would've
everyone
fucking unloaded on
has to be old to be handicapped, all right?
them. But yeah.
Jesus.
What are you doing parking in the handicap spot? Or like when I had the Porsche. Like I had the Porsche with handicap plates on it, and I would park in the
yeah,
handicap
but you
spot
did that just to be an asshole too.
sometimes. But I'd park the Porsche
funny.
somewhere, and these people would look at me like,
As he
"Are
did
you driving your
decency.
dad's car?" I'm like, "My dad wishes he had this fucking car."
He's giving you the
You have
disappointed look
decency.
right now over the microphone.
Yeah,
He's
I can
upset
feel
Son
it.
of a bitch.
He hasn't even heard this yet, but I can feel it.
Your dad's just gonna call you. There's not gonna be any talking. It's just you're just gonna be like,
No,
I'm
he's-
sorry.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, Dad.
He's just gonna FaceTime me. I'm gonna be like, "Oh."
No, when he
Mom
when he
too,
when he
though.
shows up here to when we're gone in France to help Nick with the dogs,
I'm just
we're
gonna
gonna
get-
feel it. He's gonna land, and we're gonna be like, "Oh shit! Good thing we're out of the country." You know?
Oh shit! Good thing I'm in France. It's like 2 in the
guys-
morning.
We
We're just
love
gonna
you,
wake
for
up and be
sure.
like,
You guys left the apology letters behind, right?
I knew I was forgetting something.
"Oh shit!
Mom
I thought I
too,
left the
though.
stove on. It was way worse."
See, Mom, it was that turnaround.
Turn around.
She would like be not facing you, like I'm not facing. All of a sudden, just be like, "What
No,
did you say?"
Mama's always just
You're
like-
like, "Nothing. I love you."
My mom always had the pause. Like she would be like doing something, and then you'd say something that
Yeah.
you knew you weren't fucking supposed to say, and then it was just like, and I was like, oh shit, I'm dead.
Oh, yeah.
Like when she just stops what she's doing and just like, I'm like, oh fuck, I should not have said that. Like, I mean,
Mistakes were
granted,
made.
it didn't happen very often. Like I didn't talk shit to my parents very often, but like
My mom was always, she would just like be doing whatever and would just reach over and grab a wooden spoon. Like
Yeah.
rarely did she ever need to use the wooden spoon.
Oh
on
no,
us
she
being
broke him on
jackasses.
the counters.
Yeah, like she would break them on the counter, like smack
Yeah.
it somewhere or something. She would never really hit us with it, but she would just grab it and like both me and Nick would just like run to our bedrooms and be like, "I'm in my room."
I grounded myself.
We grounded ourselves. I'll never forget, and it was with you. Apparently, he did it with me, but Dad got so pissed off at you. Dad never laid a hand on us ever, but he just picked
he
you
just
up.
has that look, man.
He just picked you up and carried you to your room and left you in the middle of your room and closed the door. And you're just like, I don't know what the fuck just happened. Like, you're just like, okay.
I remember when Dad got pissed at me this one time. I don't remember what the fuck we were doing. I was a kid. We were driving somewhere, and I was riding in the fucking middle seat of his like old Mazda
Yeah, when
truck.
he used to
Yeah.
be able to ride in the middle.
Yeah. Oh, I was a little kid, right? And I
Yeah.
had to pee.
Yeah.
And like I kept saying I had to pee, and my dad gets like so pissed off that he mixes his words up, and he's like, "There's no piss goddamn place, too." And like everyone was just in the truck laughing, and he's just like, "God damn it."
Poor man. Those poor people, we put them through.
I love Papa Grape. Papa Grape, they're good people.
Oh, yeah.
I love them.
My favorite was that for me, it would be the whole name, so you knew you were in trouble.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
same
then,
here.
But
As
then
soon as the
she
middle
was,
name
she
comes
was
out, you're
always
fucked.
like, "Wait till your father gets home." But the problem was, Dad never got mad at us, like, ever, because he's like me. We hardly get mad at anything. So, like, we would get all freaked out, like, oh, God, she's going to tell Dad. And then he would, like, take us outside, and he would tell us a story of something he did far worse than anything we could possibly have done. And we're like, good talk, Dad. Good talk.
Yeah, no, there was no wait until your father gets home in my house, like, because my mom was way scarier than my dad.
Well,
I mean, she never, like, there was no physical. There was never any
Yeah.
physical pain
No.
inflicted.
Didn't need
but
to be.
oh yeah, it was
Just a
just the fear,
disappointment.
just the
Yeah.
pure fear.
My friends have always believed that Mom, growing up in high school, Mom could probably take King Kong. It's
Maybe.
like, no, your mom's intimidating. I'm like, how is Mom intimidating? She's like, the nice person. She's like, I'd never fucking piss your mom off.
When
no, that's all. You never piss the nice person off because
No.
they fucking
Oh,
like.
Yeah.
They're
that's
all
how
like.
far they get.
well,
Yeah.
like my mom could never do the wait till your dad gets home, right? And be like, oh yeah, in 5
Yeah.
months, sure.
Yeah.
She just took care of it.
Well, it's like me when I don't get angry often, but if you piss me off, I hit you hard. Like, not hit you, but
Yeah.
I know so many secrets. You know when I'm
It's
pissed.
gonna hit us.
And they would get, like, in school and stuff, I would get everyone in trouble, whatever. Be like, oh, yeah, motherfucker, I know what you did. No,
No, Mom was.
mess with me.
So Jam was a rat.
kind of.
Your dad's not your real dad. We all know it.
Your dad is the UPS man.
No, apparently my mom's not my real mom, because
Oh, according to Ancestry.com.
I looked
yeah.
up on Ancestry.com,
Oh, yeah.
and my dad was married to someone before my mom for a week, only a week. And
all it takes.
supposedly on Ancestry.com, I'm actually that person's child, even though I'm a clone of my mom.
Oh,
I
yeah,
look
no, you
exactly
cannot-
like
Yeah,
her.
You cannot
Yeah.
deny. Like,
Yeah.
if you ever see Jam and her mom together, like, you'd almost be
I
hard pressed
walked
to
in.
figure out.
So my mom went to a store. She went to shopping or whatever at a local Georgia store, and all the time. And I came back to visit, and she's like, "Oh, let's go to the store." And like, she knew the person who worked there, or the owner. And as soon as I walked in, the first thing she said, "Did you clone that one in a basement?" Like, legit. The
No, the
only
first-
thing I got from my dad is my personality and my knobby knees. Thank you, Dad, for those knobby knees.
The first time when me and Jam were dating the first time, I walked in, like, you took me to your house and your mom was there. I was just like, what the fuck?
Well, it's funny because I dye my hair now and I send pictures back sometimes. And Tommy showed it to Grandpa, and he was like, "When did your mom dye her hair?" and she's like, "No, that's Jammy." Oh,
Yeah, that's what happens in rural Jacksonville.
It's not rural. They don't live in rural Jackson. They actually live in the fucking
we
ghetto.
lived
They
in.
live like right in the middle of the city now.
Well, now, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not talking about now. 'Cause
Oh, before.
Well, the
Yeah.
thing is, my dad's from Miami, but my mom was from
Maine.
Maine, like northern, like almost where your parents grew
Yes.
up.
It's
Maine.
about like 5 minutes. Like, we went there when you were out there.
you mean Southern Canada?
Pretty
Yes.
much, actually.
Yes.
Like, yeah. I mean, like, our grandparents were probably Canadian and then just kind of like moved the house south a little bit and ended
they
up
just-
in the U.S.
Yeah, they just wandered across the border and then they're like, "Yeah, this is us now." Like,
Yeah, pretty much. And then, like, they drew some lines and like, oh, shit, we're American.
So we always joke because we're like, there's hardly anyone up in Maine. I got Corbins in my family. You got Corbins in yours.
Oh, yeah, and
Who
her mom
knows?
doesn't know who her dad is. So
Yeah, my mom doesn't know her dad.
we
so
just didn't bother to look into it.
some fucking Iceland shit there.
Some backwoods Alabama shit.
but who
Iceland,
knows,
backwoods
man?
Alabama,
Who
same fucking
knows?
thing.
We actually married
Iceland's
into
pretty.
Corbins, so.
I mean, they literally created, the government created an app so that you could look someone up before you went on a date with them and make sure you weren't related to them.
That is true.
I mean, when you're
That's
on
a
a little
thing.
tiny island.
I mean, Iceland, I mean, they
Yeah,
only
that's
have
true.
a certain amount of
I
people.
do want to travel there and do the ring. We should do that.
Oh,
the whole
yeah, I wanna go to
travel
Iceland.
around the ring
Actually,
thing.
There's only one
my friend's
ring.
in Iceland right now. The
Yeah.
one that was like working up in Greenland. Like he came back and like for like
Went
a
to
couple
Iceland,
days and
or-
then went to Iceland.
One ring to rule them all.
I guess he just likes cold shit.
I mean, it's better than when he got to Greenland. It was like -10 degrees
Oh,
and
yeah.
like fucking snowing its ass off.
Yeah, because
Greenland's cold.
Greenland's actually covered in ice, and Iceland is actually green.
Still,
But
no,
it
it's still covered in
it
ice.
I
wasn't-
mean, it is. But
It wasn't just Greenland. It was fucking northern.
Yeah, it's
Northern
where all the
Greenland.
like the hidey hole bases are, right? Like all the All like the shit we don't tell you about.
That was my favorite thing in talking about Iceland, not because of not the hidey holes.
That was my favorite thing was the hidey holes.
I love hidey holes.
I used to dig in the hidey holes when I was a little kid.
Who doesn't like hidey holes? One of my college classes, one of my first ones, it was like some socialization class. I don't even remember the name of it, but they showed a
SJW 101.
They showed
Woke 101.
They showed a video of Iceland, right? In the first scene, like of this, that you see these beautiful mountains and like the puffins going by, and then all of a sudden one of the puffins gets snatched up by a net and they break its neck, and everyone's like, "Oh!" And I'm like, they eat them there. I don't see the problem, but it was just funny watching everyone else's reactions to shit like that.
I love watching people who think nature is this beautiful, peaceful thing, and then they see a lion take down a gazelle on TV, and they're like, "Oh my god,
how
that
could
happens?"
the lion take down that beautiful gazelle?"
I'm like, that's what they do.
Well, it's like
It's like when their dogs kill one of their little rodent pets. It's like that's what they do.
Was it they found like otters, like they'll like find, I think it's like baby seals or something like that, and they'll literally take the baby seal and just fuck it to death.
An otter?
Yeah, fucking otters.
Walrus do that to penguins.
Like they literally just take these things and just fuck them to death.
Did you see the?
Here's the shitty one: is a walrus. Walrus are known to take king penguins and fuck them, and then when they're done fucking them, they bite their heads off. They have caught this on video a couple times.
Technically, praying mantis do that to each other. So
It's
Well,
kind of
it's
fucked
so
up.
she can nourish herself for the long pregnancy. Maybe, I don't know.
I don't know.
Or maybe she's just like, this is my man.
You hear the
No one
I
else
just
can
know
have my
I
man.
can't say walruses.
article is called the Case Against Otters: Necrophiliac Serial Killing Fur Monsters of the Sea.
Wait, what? Read that again.
The Case Against Otters: Necrophiliac Serial Killing Fur Monsters of the
Oh
Sea.
yeah,
Oh, no, yeah. No, nature.
They rape
Nature just-
they rape baby
Nature's
seals and
fucked up.
hold each other's pups hostage for food.
Yeah, like,
Huh.
nature
Interesting.
is a weird place. Like,
For
everyone thinks that, like, animals out there are supposed to act like we do, like, cordially, at least semi-cordially to each other, and they're like,
No, they kill the fuck out of each
yeah,
other.
right, like,
They watch too much of that Lion King, you know?
yeah, right, they're like, oh my god, why doesn't the lions and the gazelles just eat plants together?
I mean, just
Lions
just,
can't eat plants.
I mean, just look at your look at your dog. Like, I mean, most dogs will
Oh,
just literally hump anything. Imagine if there was no one there to
Humphrey
check them.
humps nothing. Except for
Humphrey
everything.
earns his name. No.
No, I mean, but
Wrong.
like everyone's like, but like I can't believe the otters would do that. I'm like, your dog would probably do that if
Otters are
there was nobody
vicious,
to fucking check
man.
it.
Otters
he would just
are
rape
vicious
everything.
little fuckers, for sure. I wouldn't want an otter as a pet. Same with...
let a little rodent in this house and let Milo see it and see how cute Milo will be with that fucking rodent.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
Milo tries to hunt Pierre, so
Yeah.
I mean, our little Frenchie.
Yeah, that's what they do.
It was the cutest thing
It's
ever.
adorable
but-
because you know he's not going to kill him. But
That would be an interesting matchup, Milo against an otter.
I think the otter might win. Otters
The
are
otter would
actually
win that
fairly big. And Milo acts big and tough, but
he's not.
yeah, he's just a little puppy.
He's a little dude.
Damn it, can you adjust your shit
No,
before?
no. I like to move.
I'd like to move.
Move it. No,
I'm going to replace your chair with a stationary chair and then, like, handcuff your arms to it.
that would be awful. I could not handle that.
We already had stationary chairs, and he still fucked with shit.
I'm too
Yeah.
fidgety.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm too fidgety. I'm sorry.
Just get you a fidget cube.
Yeah, Nick needs one of those fidget cubes.
No, because all you hear is tick, 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 tick.
Oh, they make silent ones.
I would hate that one. Like, it doesn't make noise.
Get him a spinner.
A fidget spinner.
Oh no, I'd figure
I
out
don't
how
see
long
those
I can
things
make it
anywhere.
hit the table.
I don't see those things anywhere anymore.
yeah, right.
I
They
have
were
one.
super big for a while, and
I'm
then
talking
everyone
about,
was like,
stores, not
Oh.
not in your private collection.
I only have it because at LIB, someone gave it to me, and it lights up though.
Yeah,
So
they gave them to us
cooler.
when I was working in Virginia. They just like had like a box of them. They're like, here you go.
I've never worked anywhere they have given me a fidget spinner. I have worked places where they gave me stress balls, and they regretted that very quickly.
I got a shopping cart.
When I just kept going to steal more stress balls because I will shred through like 6 of those a day.
Clicky pens. I think I've given you clicky pens that have been laying here. I'm like, no, just take that away from me.
Well, he also clicks pens.
Yeah.
So
I do too. Yes.
it's a brother thing.
I click pens. I chew on pens. Stress balls. Dude, stress balls are like the fucking worst to me, though. You give me a stress ball, I'm just like... constantly squeezing it, just like...
My current work, because of the culture, gives us stuff all the time. We got like little shopping carts.
The culture.
And we got Canadian flags and T-shirts.
So
Definitely T-shirts. I have so many fucking
T-shirts.
T-shirts.
Shit.
T-shirt.
No, that's what company culture is. It's a bunch of useless shit.
Got some magnets. I got a fake $1 million bill for some reason. I don't even remember what that celebrated, but...
I want to know who the first person who like sat down and was like, you know what our employees want? Bunch of free dumb shit.
In the culture.
Honestly, I mean, I don't like the free stuff, whatever, because it just clutters everything up. But, like, I don't mind the events they do. I like going to the events. One, because I'm not working, because I'm at the event. So they can keep doing that. That's fine.
The ultimate right
So
there.
I worked in information security. The events were going on, but we were usually too busy, like, doing shit to ever go to them.
I also didn't want to go.
Yeah, or that. I mean, also, we work in information security, so we just don't want to do that.
Well, half the time the events were at the campus.
No, I still wouldn't go.
So we just
like half the
went
time they'd be like
downstairs for a few hours and was like
half the
whatever.
time like I would be looking at them through the window and I'd be like, no, I'm not doing that.
I mean, they still try to do it like through Zoom now, and it's like, but it's always
I don't get that.
It's always at like 4 o'clock, and I'm like, so what you're telling me is that if I come and talk to you fuckers, I can stop working at 4 o'clock. But if I'm just gonna go and like, play some fucking video games or watch TV, I can't leave at 4 o'clock.
Someone actually pays attention how long you're online?
No.
Oh.
No, God, no.
I was gonna say, cause
I've worked at some places that have though.
Oh yeah,
like
no.
you logged off at whenever, and I'm like, bro,
No, I know a lot
calm
of,
the fuck down.
I know a lot of people that work at places where like, if your fucking little icon is yellow for like longer than like 10 minutes, someone will be like, "What's up? What's wrong with you? Like, what are you doing?"
That's why you just install Mouse Mover and you just like let it wiggle itself to death. That's what I always did. I'm never yellow.
Never.
I've never logged out of this computer because my mouse is wiggling all day.
That's a thing?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, Mouse Mover. Yeah, you install it and then like every like 30 seconds it just moves your mouse like a couple of pixels.
Just like that cool hacker website. If you want to become a hacker and you just slam on your keyboard and it writes code. No, just kidding.
No, you'd have to have another person type on the same keyboard.
You know that's huge for like Hollywood movies.
There's
Like
a lot
every
of-
Hollywood director's like, fuck, she accidentally figured out our secret for Hollywood movies.
Maybe.
No,
Maybe.
my favorite's when they do like they go to like do like hacking or they like made some like major discovery and like they show the screen they're typing and then it's just like CD drive. It's just like, it's like
change directory to the C drive. Total hacking.
You showed me one that was funny, like in movies, because movies don't.
It was
Oh,
no, that was the
NCIS one.
NCIS where,
where
two
they're
people
like two
typing on
people
the same
typing
keyboard.
on the same keyboard.
Just moving back to the other side of the router. You're like, what the fuck does that even mean?
Like that's not you don't understand. Packets really don't go in reverse ever. Like they go one direction, and if they don't make it, they just kind of disappear after the TTL.
I think one of my favorite scenes was the Jurassic Park one. Ah, man, this is Linux. And
Oh,
it
no,
has like
I
little
know this.
boxes on the screen.
I know
which
this.
is a GUI, and Linux is not a GUI.
No, Linux is.
No.
It was Unix.
Unix.
She was
sorry.
like, I know this.
My
This
bad.
is Unix, and I'm like, Unix is a command line only operating system.
Yeah.
I've never used the Unix that.
Well, is it? Because isn't Apple technically?
It's a Unix fork.
Oh, okay. It's like a portion of it is Unix.
Yeah, like the source code's Unix, but they built a GUI
I
on
just
top of
click
it.
on-
I mean, like Linux by itself technically is also not a GUI
Yeah.
operating
I
system.
can
It's
go-
just
I
a
think
command
Windows
line
is
interface.
now, but it didn't used to be.
No,
I mean,
Windows
it's-
was always command line.
I mean,
that's why it took off so big. Is because it was easy to use because you didn't have to actually type things. You could
Oh,
point
okay.
and click things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Apple is Unix, like like a body is a fucking foot. Like,
Yeah, right.
It's
Apple's,
like part of it. Yeah.
the worst thing is like whenever I'd have to write scripts or something, and you write it for like Linux, and you're like, yeah, it works, and then you're like, let me try it on Apple. Why don't you work?
Yeah.
I don't recognize this command. Why not?
CD, man. It's the same in everything. It's the same in Windows.
Yeah, but stupid websites like that, fun stuff when you send it to your coworkers that are programmers. But there's so many stupid websites. There was one like, who could donate $1 or something?
Who could donate the most?
No. I don't think that was it. It was.
Oh, no, that was the one I wanted to make. Sorry. I wanted to make a website that was who could donate the most. And then, like, you get absolutely nothing from it. Like, we just make a website and we take your money, and then it goes to my bank account, and then, like, your name is just on top because you donated the most money.
Well, like
they did that with, like, a penny.
The
it was
$1 million website.
$1 million website?
The guy that made a website where they sold, like, fucking by the pixel. And, like, everyone paid to put their fucking ad on this website.
Well, back in the...
It was, like, pretty old. It was, like, super old fucking website, but, like, yeah.
I remember the, back before Apple really struck down on their stringency, and they had the I Am Rich app.
Yeah.
Which it cost, like, $10,000 or something like that. It was just the big fucking, like, jewel.
Yeah,
it didn't do anything.
Say.
Yeah, you just tap on it, and it's like, yeah.
I bought this fake jewel for $10,000 because I am rich.
Yeah, it's called the I Am Rich app. It's funny, if you jailbroke your iPhone, it
I don't
came
think
with
it was 10,000. I think it was $1 million.
Oh, was it?
$1 million an app.
Maybe.
So only the rich people would be like, look how much money I wasted, guys.
I have
I'm
Jewel
alpha.
on my
No,
phone.
I'm an alpha.
I'm a fucking alpha.
No, it was $1,000.
Oh.
It was $999.99.
I don't think you could call yourself. I mean,
it was the most. It was the highest price that Apple allowed for content in the App Store.
Alpha.
So they just tapped it out.
Yeah, because I'm sure
I think
a lot
they
of people
banned it pretty
afford
quickly. Like after a little while. Oh my God! It has 275 reviews.
Yeah, but the website was like donate a penny or $1 or something, and you just like paid $1, and then you got your name on a board.
That's what it's talking about. The $1 million website. And it's literally $1 a pixel, and it's just people paying to fucking put their ad on this like fucking website.
People do some weird things with
I
money.
think the Who Can Donate Them must be a good website. And unfortunately, I divulged this to the entire world. So
you just
I will relinquish my claim to this website unless I make it before you do.
You know, you just need to delete this whole section of the podcast and just be this weird sudden sports bars. Bloom. Everybody have a wonderful evening.
Nah. Like I said, I'll just make the website before everybody.
That's cutting out a lot of good content, man.
I mean, I have to release this in about 3 hours from now.
Because then you would miss the whole daddy stare thing, and, you know.
Don't call it the daddy stare. That's weird.
That is kind of creepy.
I'm sorry. We cannot. No. We cannot move past
So
it by
back
calling
to the UFC of
the daddy stare.
Fisting competition.
Better than the daddy stare.
Jam just says inappropriate things
that just
all
broke
the time.
my mind right now. Like, I don't know how to respond to that.
Oh my God, that was yeah. So Oregon is threatening to arrest people that don't evacuate fires.
That's a change subject.
Complete change of subject off a daddy stare.
Are they giving them the daddy stare?
What is the daddy stares at? You look juicy.
No, he just made it weird, all right? He made
it was
really
weird. It was weird already.
No,
I mean,
he went straight on in the basement weird.
Well, the weirdest, to me, like one of the weirdest things is like if you're ever watching porn and like you watch one of those pornos and they're like, oh yeah, daddy, fuck me. And I'm like, no.
That's. I just think it's weird with like standing
that's
on
that's
their
a whole
head.
different
That's
genre.
weird.
It is.
Yeah.
I think the ones that are funny where they're like writing in the journal, I want to see my stepdad's dick. So I couldn't wait to just go see it. And you know what? And my dream came true. It was like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
My
related.
favorite porn logic one are the ones with like, I punished him by letting him fuck the shit out of me. They're like,
How's that?
That's
a
not punishment. That is never once. Like,
No.
like no one could ever come up to me and be like, "You've been a bad boy. Fuck me." And I'll be like, "Oh, how dare I? How dare I do something as awful as that? Whatever I did.
oh no.
Tell me what I did so I can never do it again."
Or
so
always do it
sorry.
again because this is awesome.
I wouldn't let you know that.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you're the one distributing punishment here.
No, Jam's just giving out daddy stares.
Yep. I think we know the name of this episode.
The daddy
God.
stare.
Episode 9, Daddy Stairs.
I'm sorry, all the internets.
That's just wrong. Like,
Just the title's gonna break the fucking internet. Everyone's gonna be like, "What the fuck is Daddy Stairs?"
it's gonna
Whatever.
be a genre on Pornhub now.
Oh,
Whatever.
Daddy
Romania's going to freak out about it.
Yeah, we're gonna end up on Pornhub. Like our entire episode is gonna be on Pornhub. Be like, "Daddy."
Did
It's
you
gonna
know
be
there's a whole
a guy
new
looking at a young
category?
woman going,
So how did you guys manage to break out? Well, we ended up on Pornhub because Jam said Daddy Stairs.
You're welcome. I'm still making money for you guys, all right? No.
I get it, Sugar Mama.
Now get
You
back-
really just don't have to call it Daddy Stairs.
get
though.
back to work.
I'm actually going to Google Daddy Stairs right now
No,
and see what I see.
don't do that. Don't do that. What are we talking about?
that would be bad.
Something about
We're talking about
fires.
Daddy Stairs. If you whether you like it or not.
So the first thing that pops up is Stairs Remodel, Part 1 by Dude Dad.
Who's
What?
Dad?
Dude Dad. Apparently, he's a guy on YouTube who, like,
First thing that popped up on me was Stare Dad.
Is that like Octodad?
No, it's the fucking the mustache
oh,
guy.
the most.
Where his like son comes in and says like something weird, and he's just like,
My milkshakes. It's my favorite
milkshakes.
one. And Dad, someone's in the. They're in the yard. Who? All the boys. My milkshakes.
My spinach puffs.
My spinach puffs. Yeah, you really
Oh,
should never say
no.
Daddy Stairs, Jam. That was
I just derailed everything.
You
now,
did.
Where do we go from here, guys?
Oregon is trying to arrest people who are not evacuating their homes for fires.
They just need to give him the daddy stare.
And they'll leave.
This is weird. I'm out.
I don't know what the
I'm not
stare
leaving
is.
my home. I will protect it from burning down. Stop staring at me. Okay, I'll leave.
Why is there a train of people behind you, Daddy Stairs?
That was one thing. Like, anytime someone would like stay around for a hurricane, they're like, evacuate for the hurricane. They're like, no, I'm staying in my house. I'm like, what are you gonna do? Hold the walls up?
Yeah, no. Then they end
You
up, then they,
shall not
yeah,
collapse.
then they end up on the fucking to their roof, and they're like, I don't know why no one will come and save me. Like, because they told you they were gonna come and fucking save you,
Like
idiots.
they had buses. You just got on them for
Idiots.
free.
Oh, no.
But yeah, like I still understand it though. Like if someone came to my door and they're like, "You need to leave because there's a fire," first off, I'd probably be long gone before that happened anyway, because I really don't give a shit what happens to this place. It's a rental, and even
Well-
if it was my own house, it's insured. And
You just take what's important.
yeah, right. And then
The dogs.
Yeah, I just like if there was near my place, I'd just take the animals and go because everything else is like, everything else probably
I
insured for
might
way more than
be
it's worth.
running around throwing all our video games in a box, but
I mean, there's a lot of
Priorities.
money in those video games for sure.
Oh no, I mean, look at the fucking dude
Maybe-
who just sold the Super Mario 64 for $1.65 million.
Yeah, it's
that
ridiculous.
guy's lucky.
The game wasn't even that good.
No.
No, and the
And
thing
I just
is,
broke
thing
the
is, it
internet
doesn't
more
even-
than Daddy Stairs did.
It doesn't even matter about the game. It's the dude's probably
100%
never gonna
correct.
open it. Like the person who bought it is probably
No,
never gonna
it's
fucking
gonna-
open
it's
it. It's
gonna
gonna
sit
sit
on
on
his
it.
shelf.
No,
Yeah.
every single game I have put in the console and verified it works. Right, because all my games are games. They're meant to be played.
Yep.
And, like, do I keep them all in good shape and good condition and stuff like that? Yeah, absolutely. But if I want to play one of them, yeah, I'll fucking put it in and play it. It's a goddamn video game.
Yeah.
But anyway, these people that are stuck in their house, or that are not leaving their houses in Oregon, I think arresting them is stupid.
I mean, I think it's stupid to waste the manpower and fucking trying to get them out of there.
But here's
Right,
the
no.
shitty thing, right? They'll arrest them, but they will waste no time in protecting their property, right? And that's why a lot of them are not leaving. Is what happens is like in Florida, it happens. It's like everybody get out the fucking hurricane, and then the hurricane turns a different direction. And then everybody's like, let's go fucking looting. Nobody's home.
That's because you're
And
in
then they
Jacksonville.
lose everything, right?
Yeah, that is true.
That's
The
just
cops
that's not
don't
a hurricane
protect
thing.
the
That's just a
popular.
Jacksonville thing.
They don't protect their property. I said popular. I meant property.
They don't protect the
Blah,
popular.
blah, 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 blah,
No,
blah,
I'm
blah.
pretty sure they're protecting the popular celebrities.
No,
They
so-
don't protect the property.
So here's my thing, right? If you say, hey, everyone needs to evacuate, right? You go to door to door and be like, you need to evacuate, and someone says no, I think the next thing should be, okay, don't call us. Like,
Yeah.
we told you to evacuate. If there's an emergency here, you're not getting anything.
Yeah.
And then let them burn to death in their homes.
But that's what they do during hurricanes too, and then they still send fucking people in there to get them because
No, yeah, and I completely disagree with that. Like, I get we need to protect life. Sure, no, if someone's dumb enough to stay in their house when there's a giant wildfire all around them, or when there's a fucking Category 5 hurricane coming in, or any other natural disasters occurring, and you die, okay. Like, I'm pretty sure a lot of people in the world are going to be like, oh, that guy was dumb. Should have left.
See, that's a weird thing because since we're so materialistic, it goes back to that. Like, you're like, no, I gotta keep my stuff.
Keep my stuff.
It's not that important, guys.
I mean, most people, it's not about
your
the stuff.
life is.
Well, one of the
It's not
big
even about the
issues in
stuff.
Florida is
What is it about
insurance.
It's people being fucking stubborn. They don't want to they don't want to listen to anything authority has to say.
Yeah.
Maybe fight
Yeah,
the
that-
power.
That's
Fight the
probably
power.
mostly what it is. And they're like, you
I
ain't
fought the
telling me
law.
what to do.
Well, and how
the
many
law of
times
Especially in Oregon.
has the news blown a fucking hurricane out of proportion?
That's true.
Every
Couple
single
of
one.
storms.
Our bad, you
And nothing
know.
But
happens.
I would rather them
Yeah.
blow it out of proportion than like just not report on it and then all of a
I
sudden there's a
wouldn't,
fucking
because it's the boy who cried wolf. Eventually, it's like, okay,
Yeah,
guys.
and then Katrina comes in and
yeah,
fucking
and,
decimates an
and
entire
everybody
city.
was like, they're full of shit because they blew
No.
up the one before and wiped them out.
No, honestly, if there's a giant fucking hurricane coming toward you and you're like, hey, dude, like, there's like 100% chance the thing is going to fucking destroy your city, you should leave.
You should, yeah.
But
I
these
know, I'm
people,
not disagreeing.
and I know
but
a lot
that's
of the
what
people,
happens.
who stayed there, didn't have the means to leave or whatever
Yeah,
like
they
that.
do.
And I
Maybe.
call bullshit on that too because they were busing people out of the city for free.
or to the Superdome, which is just literally in the middle of the fucking city.
Yeah, and like they were getting people out of there for free at no cost. And like, I mean, there's been several reports about the reporting during Katrina. People were not being murdered in the fucking Superdome, and they were not being raped and stuff like that. Like everyone was out there and like, oh, there's chaos in the Superdome. They're gonna have to tear this place down because there's just shit and piss everywhere and dead bodies and like none of that
They
happened
won the Super Bowl
a couple of years ago.
And I
the
mean,
year that it happened because the NFL's rigged.
Oh,
broke the
yeah,
internet.
right.
But
Yeah.
that whole season they did play games in the Superdome and no one had problems.
Exactly,
with this
right?
or
Because
shit.
nothing actually fucking happened in the Superdome.
No,
People slept there.
I mean,
because-
the big thing with Katrina is like, is people at the time, no one other than like the people in power knew that the levees were totally fucked up. Like their levees were not going to hold. Like the people living near the levees, they were just like, oh, the levees will protect us.
You just gotta take your Chevy there.
but it was dry.
God
the
damn
time.
it. God damn it.
Jamie, you're fired.
That actually was really good. You know what? Long distance fist pump.
Nick gets it because he's old.
I got it.
I mean, I understood
No, I
it.
know.
I didn't appreciate it, but I understood it.
He likes my
Well,
jokes.
that's
I
a big.
appreciate that
That's
one.
just a general issue with infrastructure here in general, though. Like our infrastructure, our bridges are
Hell,
falling
man.
apart.
The
like,
bridges, yeah.
I mean,
they had to close.
condos are literally falling down.
True.
Yeah, right, well,
That whole thing.
a lot of
Very
issues
sad.
with that one. Yeah, that's a horrible situation.
That's
that happened in.
all of Miami, though. Because
They
they've
are
flooded
evacuated.
so much lately that I think the foundations of a lot of buildings have been compromised.
Well, they flooded so much lately because global warming's not a thing.
It's
and,
not.
and because of the way they made the buildings, I mean,
Yeah,
you
back.
you mix fucking salty sand in with fucking shit, and
It's
eventually it's,
just
gonna fucking corrode.
corroding. It's
Yeah, they're
corroding
just-
the rebar inside the concrete.
Yeah, and they never actually. Most of these buildings were built in the 80s, right?
Where they were
And-
just throwing up real estate
and,
real
like,
fast.
If you just think of like, you know, all the Vice City stuff, right? You see, that was Miami in the 80s, right? It was just a bunch of dudes in white suits fucking doing blow
It
all over
still
the place.
looks like that, by
yeah,
the way.
and like they were just that's where the ultra rich lived. They were Miami at the time. Like now they're in New York and LA and stuff like that, or
Yeah,
Washington.
Miami was happening.
But
back in the
Miami
day,
was
man.
the center for the ultra rich at the time. So they were building these amazing luxury places, right? And you know, the rich people, they don't give a shit.
On, like,
They just like move into it and they're
sandbars,
like, cool, this
basically.
is awesome. Yeah. Like right in front of as close as the ocean as you could possibly legally get. And they throw these giant buildings up there and they were like, yeah, condo. And all these rich people would buy them up and they're like, yeah, look how cool my
And
condo
now-
is.
and now everything's falling
like,
apart.
yeah, 20, 30, I guess 40 years later. Nick,
They
you're
don't
old.
have the
40 years
same-
later.
It's also an issue with maintenance too. Like they were doing, and they'd even kind of pointed that out. Like they're condemning buildings because they're like, nobody did maintenance on this shit.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
it wasn't just that.
Well, I mean, you can't really do maintenance to the foundation of the
Well, it's
building.
not necessarily the foundation. It's
You
also
could
the
do-
structure of the
You
building.
can do structural repairs.
Yeah, for
They
$10 million.
Yeah.
I mean,
The
look,
problem
you have
was-
your options. Either you have to keep the structure safe or you have to condemn the structure. Like,
The problem
there shouldn't
was
be a middle ground.
Those buildings used to be luxury for rich people,
Yeah, yeah.
and now they're cheaper ones, right?
Yeah.
So
Well,
the
yeah, 'cause
people who
Miami
were
is not
actually
the-
living in them, they're like, for your like each person living in a condo based on your square footage, it was going to be like 80,000 to 100 and something thousand per person. And you don't,
Look,
I don't
man.
have $80,000
No,
to
no.
cop
Look,
up
man,
to
okay.
fix stuff.
So-
I
And
definitely
so they
do
were
not.
trying to figure out how to pay for it, but then it was too late. It was
So-
too late by that time, and they didn't tell them that it was serious. They were like, "Yeah, we need repairs. This is what it's going to cost," but they didn't say if we don't do them, it's about to fall the fuck down.
Yeah,
they
but
didn't tell them
No.
that.
I call
No.
bullshit from the very beginning of that, right? Because every single one of these people paid condo dues. Every single one of the people that have lived there have been paying
Those
money
condo
Oh,
to
dudes.
the
so-
condo
And
association
they
the
should have
entire
been
time that
using
fucking
it.
place was up, right? And you've been in a place that, we've paid HOAs before.
HOAs and
it's,
shit
it's
that
really
don't
the
do
same thing,
shit,
but a
yeah.
condo association has much more responsibilities, right?
One
They
of
have,
them is the structural integrity
yes,
of the
the
building.
structure and integrity of the building, right? I pay money so that building doesn't fall the fuck down. Plus, like my rent or however much it costs to purchase that and stuff like that. So no, the condo association, if they didn't have the
Should've
money
done a
to
better job.
repair it, then
Because they
should've-
wasted it on
they
flora
squandered
and
it, yeah.
fauna outside the
Yeah,
the
they
condo.
squandered it on all this other bullshit, right? And if what they were pulling in from condo dues wasn't enough to maintain the building, they should have raised the condo dues years ago and got the money up to do it. It's entirely the condo association's fault.
Yeah.
Well,
Like when you pay money to people, especially like in an HOA or anything like that, you pay money to them just in case anything that happens in the gates or in the region of your neighborhood goes wrong. They're supposed to be able to fix it.
What's funny is the insane power HOAs have
Oh, in Florida, it's,
in Florida.
Yeah.
I mean, they
they can send you to jail.
misplaced a check that I sent them. Well, it was funny. They didn't misplace it. It cleared my account. And then they said, you didn't pay your HOA dues. We're going to take your house. I'm like, you can't fucking do that. Oh, wait. Yes, you can.
because some fucking
because some
fucking guy that they
forgot to check off that
they elected is fucking
oh yeah,
like
yeah.
is
HOA
is
elections.
getting
For all
is getting
you out
fucking
there,
is getting checks. Like,
Brandon did
Yeah.
quotes around elected.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I always wanted to. Every time I lived in a neighborhood with the HOA, and they're like, "We're having a meeting." I always just wanted to go in there and just start a coup, like for no reason. Just be like, "I vote for whatever,"
No
and appoint
confidence.
a vote of no confidence, and they'll be like, "Why?" And I'll be like, "I don't know, because they're fucking HOA leaders. They're all stupid. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Do they live here? No. Okay, let's
I mean,
put people who live here in."
HOAs
It's
put a
'cause-
dude in jail because his lawn fucking died and he lost his job
Yeah,
and
I
he had no
remember that
money to
story.
fix it.
Yeah, yeah. In
He
Florida,
could fix
yeah.
it. Yeah, went to jail.
Yeah, they could put you in fucking jail.
Yeah,
God damn it!
or stupid in Florida. No, actually, you know what? I think the first word might have
yeah,
been
show's
appropriate,
over.
but They're
But-
bad.
That
They're
was
stupid.
loud, I
Everything about them is bad. They're not good.
No,
They serve no purpose.
HOAs are stupid, right? And so one neighborhood we lived in when we
That's
first
so
moved to
wrong.
Phoenix.
I don't have that word anymore.
One neighborhood we lived in when we lived in Phoenix, right? The HOA actually did stuff. They took care of the front yards. They maintained the pool. They painted all the gates, and the neighborhood looked nice, pretty
Well,
much
they
all the
took
time.
care of all the front yards. Too.
Yeah, everyone's front yard the HOA took care of and stuff like that.
I get the money for that.
Right? And I was like, okay, I'm paying however much money it was. It was like $100 a month or something like that. And I'm like, okay, all right, that makes sense.
But
like,
they're actually doing shit.
they're doing stuff. And then the last neighborhood with the house we're just selling, I pay more for that
yeah,
house than
more HOA.
more HOA, and they don't do
the
shit.
stupid little areas they did
Serve
was
no
like
purpose.
the drainage ditch. It was like we
maintain the
trim-
drainage ditch.
great.
It's a hole in the ground, and it's Arizona. It hadn't fucking rained here in 2 years.
I was like, how do you do that? You just fucking open the gate and let the city in to fix it?
Yeah, pretty much. And they're like, we take care of the common areas. And I'm like, this
We don't-
neighborhood, this
doesn't have a
entire
common.
gated neighborhood is one fucking street that goes down, I mean, not even a quarter of a mile, and then turns around and comes back.
Yeah,
right?
there's no
16
pool
houses
house.
in it.
There's no common pool area. There's no barbecues.
Yeah, there's no
What the fuck is our
fucking
common
common
area?
They're awful.
And they sent a letter to us and like, here's the common areas, and it was like 2 little tiny like black triangles on this map, and then like everything else is your responsibility. And I'm like, why am I paying you money?
They're like sandwiched in between 2 other people's houses. Like,
yeah,
what are you guys doing? Standing in the common area. You look really fucking weird.
Because I think those were drainage things too. It was
most of them were
drainage.
wherever there's a wash, right? Like a water runoff. Because in
common areas, yeah.
In Arizona,
hanging out down by the wash, guys, with the rattlesnakes.
In Arizona, when it actually does rain, like it usually rains a shit ton, and the entire place floods. So we have like very strategic places to drain the water to, so like people's houses don't flood and shit like that. But like they're like, yeah, we maintain those, and I was like, you don't have to maintain those. Like they're just there. Like
They're off.
There's a wash. It's there.
It's not like
water goes there.
Not like anything's growing inside of them until the water shows up.
Yeah, right. Like chances are there's like a bunch of rabbits and maybe a javelina in there, right?
Ton
and like
of
when the water,
rattlesnakes.
and a bunch of rattlesnakes, right? And when the water comes, they're all gonna go out there, and I'm gonna walk outside my fucking front door and find like 6 rattlesnakes and be able to just shut my front door and be like,
Nope, not
Nah.
today.
nah,
today.
not happening, man.
Not today, Satan.
I think I'm gonna get in my car and drive to the end of my driveway and then get my mail and then drive back
But it was
because
the other-
there's way too many rattlesnakes out there.
The other thing about them, they're usually in gated places that never work. The gate never fucking works.
The gate either never works or all you ever do is just give the gate code out to everyone, right? Like, especially now that we got like
True.
DoorDash and Postmates and stuff like that, where you can just like bring their groceries and like, what's the gate code? Oh, it's this. Okay, thanks. Like,
I mean,
I don't know how many people have the gate code to my neighborhood, but sometimes I will forget to put it out in the DoorDash instructions,
remember-
and they still know how to get in.
It's like my apartment complex. Like,
Oh, they just have the delivery button.
no, I mean they have the delivery button, but the gates have been broken for like 2 months now.
You just
Like,
yeah.
they're just open.
I loved your parents' neighborhood when we were in high school and stuff because, 1, the gate never worked, and 2, I just followed someone in, or when someone came out of the gate, I went through the exit.
Yeah, you just going through the exit gate.
Like, I did that so many fucking times.
I know. I
And,
was with
and
you.
the walls never go around the whole neighborhood anyway, so, like, you could walk around the gate.
Oh yeah, that was my favorite. The last neighborhood I walked with, right, or lived in, right. I opened up my garage one time, and there was just a shit ton of deer in my driveway, and I'm like,
Because we don't have a
real
wall
good
around the
gated neighborhood,
neighborhood.
guys. Like they just fucking walked across the street and ended up in my driveway. Like I thought it was cool that there was a bunch of deer in my driveway. I
But
also thought it
anybody
was
could've done
annoying
it.
that
You know, all of this is just first world problems.
it is.
It
yes.
is. Hashtag.
I mean,
Hashtag first
deer
world
are
problem.
just fucking giant rats, so it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
pretty much.
They're tasty.
And then there's a bunch of
Yeah.
javelinas out in the yard one time, and like you just see them, like just like go under the little fence they built, and they're just like, oh yeah. And these are big ass fucking pigs, man. Like
The only gated community you should pay for is when they actually have security people. Because
Yes.
then they have people they're watching, and they have to open the gate to let people in.
yes.
And they actually do a lot, like the ones in Jacksonville, the Deer Valley, really nice. Deer Valley?
No, Deer Creek.
Deer Creek.
Deer Valley's in Phoenix.
You're
That's where
right.
we live.
Deer Creek is one of the nicer places in Jacksonville, and my mom would house sit for a lot of them. And when they would leave, they would tell them they're on vacation. The security people actually went and checked on the houses half the time.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom was there like house sitting, and they were like, "Who the fuck are you?" And we're like, "Oh, we're just house sitting. It's fine."
You're not on
But-
the list. Get the fuck out.
No, she was on the list. So.
Yeah.
Get out now.
But
they
some of those
do.
neighborhoods
like,
too,
you're
they have
paying
like
for the security. You're paying for
well, some of
whatever.
those neighborhoods too, like all their security guards will be EMT trained, right? So if there's a medical
Oh,
emergency,
if
and some of these neighborhoods are
emergency,
huge,
yeah.
right? Like you look at Desert Mountain up in Phoenix, right? That neighborhood, like to get to the front, to go through the main gate and get to the back of the neighborhood, it could take you probably about 40 minutes. Like it's
True.
huge. And so, like, if you have a medical emergency or something like that, they actually provide the assistance for it. Like, they'll come out, you know, you call 911, you call them, or you can call them and they'll call 911 on the phone with you. And then they'll dispatch someone to you and do EMT services until the ambulance can get to you. And then some of them even have handyman services where you can be like, hey, dude, my ceilings are like 20 feet tall and my light bulb's out. Like, I don't know about you, but that'd be a giant pain in the ass.
Yeah, and
It's called a ladder, bitch.
It's a really big fucking ladder. Like, I do not have a ladder that goes up 20 feet.
I also
And
don't
a
trust
harness.
I don't trust myself to go up there.
And
Yeah.
a harness.
Yeah, and if you're like me and you get up to the top
Those
rung of
are
a
for the
ladder and you're
bedrooms,
like,
Nick.
no.
Huh?
Those harnesses don't work the same. The ones for the bedrooms. They have harnesses. Never mind. Anyway. You don't have nobody has harnesses at the house to do shit like that.
Yeah, no,
it's
yeah.
for other reasons.
Yeah, true. My house harnesses will not keep me attached to the ladder. They'll keep me attached to the ceiling, but not the ladder.
Do you have harnesses? I don't think so. Not for that purpose.
Oh, she just told you.
I am uncomfortable with this entire conversation.
And on that note, I believe it is time to end this week.
I think it's time for me to go home now.
Don't give people daddy looks. Sports fans, don't yell in the middle of a place where people are just trying to enjoy their fucking food. What else we talk about?
Harnesses are only for the bedroom. No,
Yeah,
just
harnesses.
kidding.
They're not.
Most harnesses in your house are not for climbing ladders.
I mean, actually, they would work if you attached it to the roof when you went up there.
How are you going to attach it to the roof?
How did you attach it to the roof in your bedroom?
You don't. You attach it to the ceiling.
Okay, how did you attach it to the ceiling?
And a lot of the times, if you buy a harness that's like that and you have that much money, you have someone install it for you.
You shouldn't ask questions you don't have an answer to.
You are 100% correct.
Good sir, you forget. I think of everything.
This conversation is.
Like verbal diarrhea.
It is.
Yeah, don't go to Jacksonville. The place sucks. Don't believe their billboards.
Don't believe the billboards.
Believe them.
And if you're in a house that's surrounded by wildfires and you don't leave and you die, it's your own fault. Thank you. Have a good night.